Shut up and sit down.
And I don't know what kind of tequila this is.
I thought you said it was Corralejo.
I don't know what that means.
It's the blue skinny bottle, right?
Yeah.
Corralejo.
Say it again.
Corralejo.
Okay.
Salud.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I like the word though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a... Oh, sorry.
I was mid-drink.
Okay, again.
All right, do it again.
Again,
All
salud,
right.
salud.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Not bad.
I don't drink
It's not
as
patron.
often as you do.
No, I drink mezcal more than tequila. But no, Corralejo is like where you put animals in like a cage thing, I think.
I don't
Or
know.
not a cage, like where horses go and things like that.
A barn.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm bad at ranch stuff.
Ranch. Yeah. My mom listened to the episode with you on the Wangers.
Oh, no.
And then she's like,
That's so embarrassing.
I said, did you have any idea what mezcal was? And she's like, yeah, we used to drink it all the time.
You're
I was like, it's been
she's
around-
like, yeah, dummy.
Yeah. Like, how come you never showed me this?
Oh
And
my
I
God.
still don't understand what it is. It's not like a tequila. It's not,
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
I have
it's
no idea.
technically, I guess
Oh, it is
tequila is
tequila.
technically a mezcal
Okay.
because they're made from the same plant.
All right. So let's start this show now.
Okay.
I just get right into it. I don't have a beginning, intro, whatever. I
Good.
just talk.
I don't want moms listening. I don't want my friends' moms listening to stuff though.
Why?
I
It
don't
is
know.
weird that she started listening to it because I sent her the runner, a video that I
Mhm.
did. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And she sent it to all her friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's on the YouTube channel that we do the Wangers on.
Oh, okay.
So she
yeah.
went through the channel and she's like, I started watching your show.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh,
I
no.
know. Whenever my mom's like, hey, I watched one of your videos, I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I said, yeah, we talk like pretty about like vulgar stuff. And I
Yeah.
say fuck, I say bullshit
Yep.
and all that stuff. And she's like, I've heard it all.
Yeah.
Which you don't think about, like the parents have been through like more than we have.
Yeah, but it's still, I feel like sometimes when parents get older, they get a little bit more traditional or conservative, you
Yeah.
know, as they age. So sometimes, like my mom's the coolest person,
Mhm.
but she's much more, she's a classier woman than I am.
Is she?
She's much classier.
So does she
So-
get like offended easily at some things?
No, I mean, she just doesn't, she would prefer it if it wasn't, you know, vulgar or if it wasn't, but that's just the way I've always been. But she is proud of me and everything else.
Okay.
I told her, I'm just like, I'm never going to be as elegant as you are.
So she's listening to you because I know you from Collider Live. That's when I first met you.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
She listens to you on that show.
Well, no, she's watched some. No, fortunately, I don't think she's watched that show, which is good because that's where anything goes.
Yeah, you guys.
But when
talk
I've
about
been
farts and
on other things, like either whether it's Collider Jedi Council or Movie Talk, but also on my own channel, Super Dork House, like where we do podcast style stuff, but then we also started shooting sketches.
Yeah.
And so she'll watch those, and that's more of like her checking out my, you know, directorial techniques or whatever, and that's fine, right?
Oh yeah,
It's-
you're not in the sketches though, right? You're behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's your thing. You don't like being in front of the camera.
Well, I'm not an act. I never was an actress or wanted to be.
You never
Like I'll
cared.
do it, but I don't think I'm good at it. I've never been interested in acting.
But it's not fun for you to like play a character or something, because that's what I realized when like doing the runner, doing all these other sketches. It's fun to just be like goofy and play.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is. I just don't think like I'll do it if people ask me. I just don't think I'd be good at it, so I just don't really do it. But if you ask me to do it, I will.
Why
I just
don't you think you'll be good at it? Because you never tried it.
No, because maybe. Or because if people are like, "Hey, you have to be sad," and I'm like, "But I'm not sad, so I don't know how to."
So you don't
It's
get
really-
the point of act. That's called acting.
I know, but it's really hard for me to be not honest.
Well, I guess, but it's acting.
I know.
But like, okay, like if someone gives you like a situation, like okay, like in this thing, like your dog just died, and now
Right.
you have to be sad, and
Maybe I could do comedy, but not drama. Like I like doing parody stuff and doing stupid voices and things like that.
okay,
But
so
but I couldn't do a serious role, if that makes sense. Like if we're doing sketches, then I'm down because we're just having fun.
yeah.
But
you-
I don't know how, because you're good. You're good. Like
Oh.
you're a good actor. Like even when you're just acting serious, like
Uh-huh.
when you were doing the runner and you're all like I couldn't do that. Like I would just start laughing if I'm trying to be serious.
You should see the after, like, because he edited it, and then
Right.
like so he made it seem like I was like acting, but then afterward I would just laugh and just be like, this is kind of ridiculous,
Right.
But like it's not. It doesn't take much.
I don't know. I mean, I think you did a pretty good job. I made fun of your running.
Yeah.
But I just had to make fun of something.
Because
that's what friends do.
You don't have to.
But it was a really good short, and you guys should all watch it.
Yeah. We're coming out with a new one, too, so hopefully that's fun. It's funny.
I still haven't seen your Uber one.
Yeah, that's the one coming out. I don't know when this is going to premiere, but it's coming out.
How dare you guys not send it to me early? Like, because Christian sent me the.
We were gonna send it to you.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I told him because with comedy you don't know if it's funny, and I don't want to be like I'm hilarious and like people watch it and they don't think it's funny.
You know what I found out, because our sketches that we started doing are also supposed to be just fun, parody stuff, and I feel like it's honestly people's different tastes. Like, so it's just depending on what type of sense of humor you have. Like,
you can't appeal to everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I guess, but for me, just in general, like, is it funny or is it like? Because I've never done it.
It depends on who you ask.
That's true. So we sent it. I told Christian to send it to everybody. He sent it to. He sent it to his girlfriend.
That bastard! I'm going to text him right now and be like, "How dare you not include me?"
And Adam Smith. You know Adam Smith?
From Collider?
Yeah. He sent it to him, so he said it was funny, and they said he's honest. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's funny.
Well, I'm just texting him and yelling at him about it.
I'll send it to you too, and we'll get feedback, and you can tell us before we post it to the world later on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna text you back. You guys, don't post it.
It's not good. Yeah. But yeah, I know you from Collider Live. I remember the day you showed up.
Do you remember when we met?
I don't think I met you that day.
Because I never remember when I meet people. I remember them when I hang out with them.
I remember when you showed up because you weren't Roxy.
Right. You're like, who's this chick?
Yeah, because it was me and Cody and like everyone else in the booth. We can see all the cameras. You're just like you're about to go on. Collider Live is like a live podcast on YouTube. And you're about to go on and we're like, who's this? They knew you from before. Right. But I didn't know who you were. They're like, oh, that's Dorina. I was like, I already don't like her.
Yeah. They're like, who's this Mexican chick that thinks she's like Mexican but not Mexican American?
Yeah. But then you showed up and you guys start talking about like movies and music and scores and soundtracks, and like you knew everything.
Yeah.
And like
you're like, oh, she's not a dumbass.
Yeah, she's not just like
I can fake it.
Yeah. So like
she's not a girl. What were you gonna say?
Or she's not like a girl that's just like going off her looks.
What sexist shit were you gonna say?
She's not just a bimbo ditzy girl. Is that sexist? She's not an Instagram model like who's just banking on her.
Because do you think there's a lot of good-looking people, specifically women, that are online because of their looks?
There's Instagram models,
right?
But it's not just women.
I just mean as hosts as well.
Hosting, like
where they're good at just being on camera, but not really talking about
like the substance isn't there.
Right.
That's what I feel like. But it's not like they need to be like brainiacs. Like they like a host is just like, hey, I'm hosting this. Mm-hmm. Let's go to that camera and blah blah blah. Right. It's like simple. It's Ryan Seacresty stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of I told them, because I love all of you guys. Like I love working with everyone, and I'm friends with most of you. And I told him, I was like, if I'm going to be on these Collider shows, I have to be myself.
Yeah.
I can't do the fake, like, welcome to Collider Live. I can't.
That's a great accent for a white person.
Great.
No, but I'm the same way where it's like, but I guess that just comes with like broadcasting. Like coming up next on Collider Live, we have this.
No,
blah,
but that you still sound like yourself. Like I can do that, right? Like because I do it for my own shows, and I'm happy. Like or when I moderate panels, and I've done celebrity interviews and stuff like that. But I just like being myself. I can't do the fake, like overly excited. Like, did you see that interview with Robert Smith from The Cure recently?
He talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
that
it.
That was amazing. This woman is like, it's like overly excited. And I feel bad criticizing her because it's her job. But she was just like, are you guys as excited of being here as me? And he just goes like, he's all like goth looking, obviously. And he's like, oh, by the sounds of it, no. It's like, which is kind of dickish, but also really funny.
That's what I like, being like the sarcastic asshole who's just like, this is ridiculous. This is absurd.
Yeah.
But you need the people that are like, and then coming up next.
You do, yeah. And I'm okay doing that. I think I'm more attracted to content that is, not, what's the word?
Not phony.
Yeah.
It's more like relatable and like
exactly.
more real. That's what I enjoy. Like, like I see you on Collider Live and I'm like, okay, that's Dorina. And if I see you off camera, that's how she would be.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you are the same person. You're not putting up a bit or anything.
I mean, I think at first I was probably more nervous because just in general, even when I did interviews for when I worked at Google for 6 years or whatever, and I did the Talks at Google program, and so I moderated panels there, and I interviewed celebrities, and it was weird there because I was representing a brand. So I felt like I couldn't be myself. So I was kind of reserved, Dorina.
Okay.
Right? And so, but with Collider, I was like, okay, I can be myself now. And then I was like, oh, crap. Myself is a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, here we go. This is me, you guys.
Well, it's really...
Sorry,
Well, it's really vulnerable. And then people can see like, oh, like this is her. She has flaws. She has this. She has like these issues and blah,
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 blah. But you know what? We all do, so fuck it.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy instead of like the person at Google, like coming up next, Tom Morello.
Exactly.
But you did that.
Even though that was a great interview because he's amazing.
Yeah. You had to do that. Like, how did you do that if you had no experience like hosting something?
Well, I had experience as a journalist when I did cover, when I quit the music industry, I was going to conventions and doing journalism, geek journalism stuff. So I was interviewing celebrities at Comic-Con and doing write-ups and or doing phone calls with them and writing articles and things like that. So I had that experience. I just didn't have the experience of doing it on camera until I was at Google.
Okay.
And that was a little scarier because then you're just on the YouTubes and everyone's like, fuck this chick. Like, I don't like her. And I'm just like, yeah, you probably don't like yourself.
Well, like every comment on YouTube is just like pointing out the negatives. Like, I can't hear her. She holds her mic weird.
Yeah. Or blah, blah, the other thing you get, and I think dudes and girls get it both. We both get it. But with women, it's like so I feel like some dudes expect us to be a certain way. And for me, I'm clearly not. I'm never going to be peppy and, unless I don't know, I meet Vangelis or Michael Keaton, So
you're not gonna be over the top.
Yeah, and so they're always like people are like, how dare her not be excited about interviewing Tom Morello? I'm like, because I'm trying to be a professional, right? I'm also not being annoying, and he's so chill. So calm down.
You're not gonna be like, oh my god, you were Rage Against him. Exactly. She's like, remember that? Remember like Zach De La Rocha? Like remember? Yeah. And just like geek out.
Like the Chris Farley thing.
Yeah. Oh, you get that? You get that SNL reference?
So
like,
good.
You're in the Beatles.
I'm older than you. Come on, Brian.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you watched SNL. Like,
that's actually one of the things I grew up with in Mexico. It was a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we loved SNL.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what were the years? What were your?
We watched a lot because my mom made us watch a lot of TV shows in English. So in growing up in the 80s and 90s, so we would learn the language.
Okay. Yeah, you told me about that. Like, so that's your first like introduction to English because like you were a Spanish speaking household. Yeah. Like your mom, your dad, like everybody spoke Spanish. Yep. But did your mom speak any English at all? Nobody did.
No. It was. I mean, we grew up in a border town, but it was still Mexicali. Like it's a Mexican town. Like it's not Spanglish over there. Like everyone speaks Spanish.
So it was just your mom's idea to say like, hey, you sit in front of this TV and listen to
music in English too.
Oh. Yeah. But can you learn it just by listening to it?
No. She took me and my brother to extracurricular activities, and so she would take us to like English lessons. Okay. Because English classes within school were crap. And so when I was in like the 7th or 8th grade, I would go try to learn grammar and vocabulary in English from this teacher directly. Like a Sunday school or something? Yeah.
Or like a weekend?
Yeah. And so we would do like 2 to 3 times a week. And then so I learned the basics of it. And then hearing it, whether it was music or TV movies, helped us, I think, I think in general, just hearing a language helps you if you're immersed in it. Similar to like why people, if they move to a country and they have to like, they're hearing it all the time. Yeah. That helps them,
they're
learn
forced
it.
to learn it. Yeah.
But I didn't really have the conversational skills until I got older. So it was actually kind of scary to move here for college and like know how to write English professionally, but not like speak it as well. It was very intimidating.
So when did you move here? At 18? Mm-hmm. And you couldn't communicate to anybody in English?
No, I could. It's just I just wasn't used to speaking English every day.
Oh.
Right? Because I spoke Spanish every day. Yeah. Until I was 18. Like I spoke English with friends sometimes, but it was weird because we're like, this is dumb. Like we just speak Spanish.
Just speak what we normally speak.
And then I sang a lot, right? Like my family's very musical, so we sang in English.
In English?
Mm-hmm. Both in Spanish.
What were the
and
songs
English.
that you would sing in English?
Everything from TV theme songs to the Beatles. Everything
really?
that was on the radio, like 80s music. The Cure. The Smiths, and everything.
And you understood it, and you can understand like what they're saying.
As I got older, I understood it. Like when I was little, I I didn't know what they were saying. Like SNL to me was funny as a kid.
Yeah.
When it was very exaggerated, like
Chris Farley falling over a table,
or like Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Remember the Eddie Murphy parody of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? You know, like when he's like, this is how we answer the door in my neighborhood. And he's like, who is it? You know, things like that were really funny to me as a kid, you know.
But you didn't get the connotation as a kid, like,
no, like
black people answer the door like this in a neighborhood.
Exactly.
But it was like, for some reason, it just like was funny.
Because he was just funny in general, like his gestures and the way he talked, you know.
That's not the one where he spoke with like a lisp, right? That was Buckwheat.
Yeah, which was also funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
on task, 3 times a minute. So good.
I didn't know you're an SNL fan.
Oh, I love. Yeah, no, I grew up with that, like 80s SNL, 70s SNL, like cheeseburger.
Really?
Yeah, my brother and my mom and I, because my parents were divorced when I was 5, so it was the 3 of us always watching TV.
Wait, you're the 3, you, your brother, and your mom?
Yeah.
Okay, so and like your mom would get the jokes too, or no?
Yeah.
Everybody just got SNL.
We loved it.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I didn't know
weird.
that.
And isn't that funny? Yeah.
Well, like my stepdad, he's not an SNL guy now, but back then he gets the cheeseburger reference.
Yeah.
So like when we went to New York, he's like, "Where's the cheeseburger
Oh yeah.
place?"
Did you actually grew up with it too? Like all those decades?
No. The first time I watched SNL with my real dad, I don't remember when, obviously, because it was a Gilda Radner sketch.
Yeah.
But like she was in the 70s and like I wasn't alive then. So it was a rerun.
Right. That's what we watched. Yeah. I wasn't alive in the 70s, Brian. I'm not that
I'm not
old.
saying like you were, but like no, it was a rerun. I don't know how it came on, but me and my dad were watching the Gilda Radner do the Rosanna Dana.
Yeah.
And like the one where she talks about the little nose, the sweat on the tip of her nose.
Yeah.
And like that just like busted my dad up. Like he just was like laughing and giggling.
Yeah, no. And also they had those, not just reruns, but they had those specials, right? Like anniversary special VHS tapes, which we used to buy. And that's how we saw all the classic sketches that they did.
Like the greatest hits.
Exactly.
Of like sketches.
Like Chevy Chase falling down the stairs, you know, like Jane, you ignorant slut, like all that stuff, you know.
Oh, so you got all that. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Yeah.
And like the fake commercials and Bass-O-Matic.
Oh my God. What was that one with the toilet, the love toilet?
Which one? I don't know that one. Like
recently
or old?
No, it was like in the 80s or 90s. It was Kevin Nealon and what was the blonde girl's name? But it was basically a toilet for two people, like as a couple,
like a love seat, but like a toilet seat.
Yeah, so they're like, so why not share the most intimate moment? Like you share all this stuff, and then they would flush together. It was so dumb, but I loved it. Yeah,
that's what I like. I like the dumbness of it, but there's also like a thought behind it. There's like smart, like it's a parody.
Like Toons's The Driving Cat. Do you remember that? Oh, you gotta look it up.
Toons's
The Driving Cat.
I don't know that one.
Just a cat that drove a car, and so they always died because the cat was driving, so he always crashed.
Which is funny.
Or he always like drove off a cliff. So dumb.
Which would happen if like a cat was literally driving a car. That's what would happen.
And I loved it. But you know what was my favorite?
Which one?
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey. That's my shit.
That was where he's like, what if like it was like a sunset, picture of a sunset and like things like riding in the sky?
Just riding, yeah.
And yeah.
Really good. Those are my favorites.
That was like 90s though, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Because that wasn't Smigel. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to it. With my dad listening to, or watching it, and then like later on I just like picked it up in like high school.
Yeah. And
then I remember like, because I'm like an antisocial, like just like awkward dude. Mm-hmm. So like
you say that, but you don't seem that way. Or maybe you do that with most people, but not people you like. With
people around strangers and like people at work and just like other stuff, like where I don't feel comfortable, I'm just like awkward and I'm like staring. I'm like I don't say anything.
Yeah, I was like, who's this like creepy staring dude, Brian? Like, why does he keep staring? No,
that's what you said?
No, of course not. No, I thought all you guys that I met at the studio have been lovely to me. So nobody's been weird. Yeah,
except Roca.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
No, he's great too.
But no, like, because we would have family barbecues because like all my family lived around each other, so like within like 15 minutes from each other. Okay. So on Saturdays, like we would hang out and like they would be drinking in the back and like having barbecues and like.
Was it like a sort of Mexican type carne asada thing or not really?
Kinda. It was a little bit like I didn't grow up like super Mexican. Yeah. But we did have like
sort of Mexican.
We did have like some leftover culture of that, like the bread.
Because both your parents are
like I'm full Mexican.
Yeah, but did both your parents grow up there and moved here, or what generation are
I'm
they?
like fourth.
Okay,
I think
so they all grew up here.
Yeah, my mom's from LA. Her mom's from like Colorado, or her mom's from like Oklahoma or something. Like like I've been here forever.
Okay.
But anyway, like we would have barbecues on Saturday. So on Saturday night, I was just like I didn't need, like at the time I didn't realize it, but I was just like, you know what? I don't like feel like talking to these people. Mm-hmm. So I went to like my cousin's bedroom and just turned on the TV, and SNL was on, and I would just watch it by myself. And I didn't realize.
Was this in the 90s?
What's that?
Was this in the 90s or 2000s?
Probably like early 2000s. Yeah, okay. So like when Will Ferrell would show up.
Right. And like Sherry O'Terry and Chris Kattan and all those guys. Yeah.
Like the big hitters of that time. Right. Yeah. So that's what I remember. But also, do you remember Mad TV?
Oh yeah.
That's what I would watch.
I watched that too. Yeah, I loved that as well. We also watched In Living Color.
Oh,
we watch anything that was sketch. Like we love comedy.
Really?
So my family, yeah. Other than
I didn't
all
know
the
you're
nerd
so
shit.
serious though. You're so.
What are you talking about?
I know, but you come off joking, but like you come off like, oh, I'm a badass. I'm like watching Mandy and like dark shit. I'm like, I like The Cure. I like this shit. Like you don't come off as like a jokey.
The Cure's for pussies. I'm a pussy. No, I mean, I think comedy helps people deal with how hard life can be.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why my family and I have always gravitated to that. Like I'm actually more into the dark shit. Like my family's not. Like I was like the black sheep. I was the goth of the family.
Like you dressed in all black.
Yeah, like my family is into happy things.
Yeah.
Just me that I'm the only one that's into dark shit. So they were the ones that were always watching like comedic movies and shows.
But you still like them yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I love all that. Yeah.
But because like sometimes
you can like both though. You need both. You need humor. It's like a form of therapy.
Yeah.
But then you also need the dark stuff to deal with your own demons as well and all that crap.
Why do you need the dark stuff? Because I feel like you can help with the humor, or like
you need both though.
Why?
Because there's always a balance in life. So you need, like for me, I need to watch, 2001. Which we already thought about on the Wangers.
Yeah.
But I need to watch things like that sit me down and force me to think about my life and my existence and what the hell we're doing here and that type of stuff. And even though it's scary to think about that stuff sometimes, I feel like it's helped me face my fears that way, you know? Whereas like comedy, it's more like I need to laugh to survive. If that makes sense.
No, I get it. Like you need a time to be serious, and a time to think about like you can feel sad sometimes. You can't be like happy and like jokey and all this stuff because like you do need a time to be serious.
Yeah, you need both.
Yeah, but then like when stuff does get ridiculous, you can like laugh at it or enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
And I feel like that's my brain all the time because I'll be thinking about serious shit and be sad, and all of a sudden I'll think of something stupid and be like, "Huh, that was funny. I'm so dumb." That's like our brains are weird that way because we're all thinking about stuff like, whatever, a million miles a minute or whatever. Like it's crazy how our brains work that way.
Well, you think that's other people, or you think that's you?
Maybe it's just me because I'm crazy and I think about stuff all the time.
Your mind races all the time.
It doesn't stop.
It never stops.
No.
So you can't like check out and just like hang out.
No, I have to be either asleep or intoxicated.
Really?
Yeah. Or I have to force myself to meditate or do some hippie shit. Yeah.
But you don't like that?
I didn't used to. I used to be very dumb and judgmental about it. And now I've relaxed a lot more.
Like it actually works.
Oh yeah.
I hear people talk about like, oh, I just meditated for 10 minutes. I'm like, does that do anything? Like,
no,
does it work?
does. Honestly, like I grew up in like a rigid, not because of my mom, but because of society, like, traditional Catholic, like repressed society upbringing, right? Yeah. Which is probably why I got into like the devil. Not really, people. I don't think the devil's real, but that's why I make jokes about 666 and like
the you
number
make jokes about that.
I just make jokes about like like metal and like Iron Maiden and 666, the number of the beast and all that crap.
Well, do you know Neil Brennan, the
Yeah,
comedian? He has a bit about Catholicism where he's like, I went through all the stages of Catholicism. What is it like? First communion,
no, baptism, first communion, and then confirmation, and then you get married.
No, but he goes baptism, first communion, confirmation, then atheism is the
yeah,
last one?
Yeah.
That's
I went through all of those stages as well. And I was that asshole atheist in my 20s that was like, I've discovered the light and you guys are all dumb and I need to help you realize that, we all die and nothing happens. And then I was like, fuck, that's so sad. And I became such a nihilist. So now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? we don't know.
Yeah,
so let's just chill about it. And
that's what it used to be like. You thought you were like edgy and cool. You're like, oh, you like God? Like he doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's so dumb because I'm like, you know what? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
But also it's like, you don't want to like, cause like, it's like older people that like go to church. And you don't want to like poke at them and be like, you suck. Like you're wrong about this. Like if they find comfort in it.
Exactly.
Like then let them enjoy it.
It's like, you know what? If whatever helps people deal with how crazy life is or whatever helps people be good people, whatever, man. I don't care. That's a better attitude to have, I think, than before where I'm just like, you don't need everyone to be like you. That's dumb.
Well, it's like I can understand with like religion if like someone passes away and if it helps you like speak to them or helps you like, oh, they're still here, like looking down on me. Like that is a comforting thing. Of course. As opposed to like the asshole nihilist who's like, no, it doesn't matter. You're in the ground. Like,
but I think it's arrogant either way. To tell people, no, this is what's real. You know, whether you're on the side of like believing in a religion or not believing in anything. Like it's arrogant to say that you know because you don't. Yeah. Because nobody does.
And then there's so many religions. So it's like, oh, we're the one true religion.
Exactly.
But then there's other that believe in like many gods and stuff. There was this one girl in high school who like, she was like so like into her religion. She's like, it doesn't matter if you believe in heaven or hell. Like you're going to go there either way. Like, it's a thing.
I know it's weird, but a lot of people believe that, and that's I mean that was Catholicism for us too.
We're like, you better believe, or else you're gonna die in damnation.
Yeah, I mean, I they used to like in Catholic school they used to literally play as first of all those weird cartoons about Adam and Eve and like Genesis, and they were hilarious. And then later on they would play us videos about how rock music was of the devil.
Oh, they would literally like go to that extreme.
Oh yeah, and then I would come home and be like, Mom, these nuns are telling me that like Queen and David Bowie and the Beatles and metal for sure, you know, Sabbath and all that stuff is of the devil, and she's like, well, that's dumb, you know, because like that's the stuff we used to listen to, right? That's the stuff I grew up with. So your
mom was understanding in a way, where she wasn't like you know what, it is the devil. Like,
no. My mom was never religious. She was very cool about. Like, she put us in Catholic school because they were the better schools, but she was very cool about letting us decide what we wanted to believe.
Did you guys have to go to church all the time?
No, that's the thing. Like, we would go because of school. So I went because of school, but my mom never went.
Like, you had a Bible class, like, as a part of school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you never had to go, like, Sunday morning mass?
No. Like, I would go because I thought that's what I needed to do by being in that school. And because sometimes as a kid, you're a sheep and you do what your friends do. Yeah. But not that I had any friends when I was a kid. Really? But I didn't. But we're just people in school.
but I want to get to that now because I just had a thought too. Mass, like my mom would kind of force us to go just because she thought that's what we should do. Okay. Like we're Catholics, we go to church.
So you went every Sunday
when I was younger, and then eventually my brother and I would just be like joking around and not really paying attention and being just like little asshole kids, like in the loud room. And my mom was like, screw this. Like, I don't really get anything out of this. Like, you guys are getting nothing out of this. Like,
so did she kind of make the decision for you all? Or did you guys all kind of collectively decided this is BS?
I think we fought it so much that she's just like, you know what? You don't have to go if you don't want to.
And she stopped going too.
She eventually stopped going. Yeah. But like she'll go on the main days or like Easter and Christmas maybe.
Like the family holidays. Yeah.
Like the main, because now my stepdad is like, he goes to church like every Sunday.
Oh, okay. Wow. But and you mentioned your real dad. What do you mean? Like your stepdad's like your fake dad?
Do you know what a stepdad is?
Yes, I have one. Yeah, I have one now.
Yeah. Well, my parents divorced when I was like 13.
Okay.
So then my mom got remarried recently.
Okay. So same with my mom. Yeah. I mean, they're not married, but I consider him my stepdad because he's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they've been together for like over 10 years. Yeah. So they were like, he was living with us.
Okay.
And then they finally got married, and now like I call him my stepdad, but like,
yeah,
I don't know what else to call him.
I get it. Yeah. Same here.
So your parents split up when you were 5.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know your dad?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't around when I was a kid. We didn't really have a relationship until I was a teenager. I started visiting him in Guadalajara. That's where his family is.
And where were you guys?
Mexicali.
How far is that?
That's a border town. Mexicali is you could literally drive there from LA in 4 hours. You drive 2 hours south and 2 hours east.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far is that from your father?
It's a flight. So Guadalajara is in Jalisco, the state, which is more south Mexico. It's like kind of like close to Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so
so you didn't even see him.
No, and I mean it's just because they ended badly, you know.
Oh.
And so he wasn't around. I would talk to him on the phone like every so often, you know, with like a little kid, just like happy birthday, dad, like just
like he would call you or you would call him.
No, I don't remember him ever calling.
No,
he wasn't around, but he wasn't a bad person because like I feel like he just wasn't a dad. Like I've always seen him as kind of like this sort of uncle that like loves me in his own way, but wasn't really like a parent, if that makes sense. But I know he loves me in his own way, and he's and he was around for a while when I was a teenager and in college. Like we had a relationship then.
Oh wow.
And then just something happened where we just kind of drifted apart again. And now we like text message like.
Oh, so you're still in contact with him?
Yeah, it's just not as much as I would hope.
How did you reconnect with him in college?
I think I just noticed that he made more of an effort.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
You didn't go seek him out?
I always seeked him out, but he just wasn't around as much, you know? He had his own life, if that makes sense, you know? But then I definitely got a lot more closer to him and his family, like my cousins and stuff. But they were just people that I visited like in the summer.
Did he move or did you guys move closer together?
No.
Or he was still
He's
the same
still there.
distance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we always had to fly over there.
Just to see him. Would he ever fly to you guys?
No.
See, that's the thing.
He flew for my college graduation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was the only... And my wedding.
Oh, wow.
That was the only 2 times, yeah.
Did that mean something or did you have to like beg him to...
I never begged him for anything, honestly.
You didn't feel like, please, like it's my wedding. Like
yeah,
come on.
because I don't give a fuck about weddings. Yeah.
Or at least college graduation then.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I would invite him to stuff, and if he could come, he could come. If not, that's cool. Like I just have always kind of established this is the relationship I have with my dad, and it's not the same relationship I have with my mom, and that's okay as long as it's up. Because we're not all going to be, all of us are going to die. So I'd rather just have like a nice, polite, you know, relationship with somebody than be pissed off, you know, for not being around.
Yeah. And being resentful and like, screw him. Like he had a kid. He didn't even want it. Like that's how I would feel like with my father. Like how come like he didn't want like
I was going to ask you, do you have a relationship with your dad?
I haven't seen him since high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that your choice or his or both?
A little both. It's like to me, it's like why bother if like he like how you're saying like he's not putting in the effort.
Yeah.
So it's like why am I going to put in effort if he doesn't really care?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, and I think that's not even just a parent thing. I think in general, like I'm sure we all experience it with friends and family. Like it takes two to have a relationship, whatever it is, whether it's your partner or your friend or family member, and you have to both put in effort. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what happened with a lot of friends back home too. It's like I was always like, hey, let's hang out, let's do this, and they're like, no, I don't want to. Mm-hmm. And then I would see them go hang out with somebody else.
I could see them not wanting to hang out with you.
I can understand it. That's why I was like, you know what, I get it, I understand. Like I'll go fuck off over here.
I'm joking.
No, but like it takes 2 people. So I was like, okay, if they're not putting in the effort, then I'm not gonna put in effort. I'm gonna move on and find somebody that I relate to or have more fun with.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. And it's, dude, like we only have so much time and in our lives, and when we become adults and we have jobs and we have, you know, hobbies and all this stuff, like it's hard to have a ton of different relationships with all these people.
Yeah.
So
how long have you been in LA?
After college, so 22. So that was probably 2005. 2006, around then.
Oh, you've been here for like 13 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, I don't even know what year it is.
I don't either.
But
I just lost count after I turned 30.
Were you able to make friends in LA?
It took me a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's kind
so
of tough
big
around here.
Mm-hmm.
And then like who's like really friendly and like who's just like in it just for
and
like
people are lazy as fuck about leaving their house in LA. It's so weird.
I'm the same way.
I know I hate all of you guys because I love hanging out with you guys, but to get you to do stuff, it's like I have to beg. It's so annoying.
No, I'll go out like that. I just met a new person or knew somebody.
Oh yeah, and you hung out with them, but not with me.
Well, yeah, they're I like them. But no, like it does take a lot for me to go out because I do work. I have a full-time job, so and the commute is like it's not bad, but like when I get home, I'm just like I'm on the couch. Yeah, I don't want to go out.
And I think most people are like that. They want to be home, and it's this thing of like. Solitude is nice because you're talking all day at work or you're You become exhausted from being around people. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a balance. And like for me, going out with my friends, like just even going to like, you know, we go to like Mark Riley's house and we just sit there and get intoxicated and watch like the Hans Zimmer concert. And then we go walk to a bar. And it's just nice to just like that type of situation where everyone's chill and cool, nice people. And that actually gives me more energy.
I can enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like going to like a buddy's house where I feel comfortable in their place. Just like, hey, you have beer there? Let's go drink at your place and watch TV or play a game or whatever. Right. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But like going to like Hollywood and walking around and doing all that, that's a lot of work for me.
So see, it depends for me. Like going to, you know, like the weird 20-year-old thing that people do where they stand in line to go into a loud club. Like it's not, and don't get me wrong, I love going dancing, but it has to be like a specific concert because I'm like a music snob, you know?
Yeah.
But if I'm just with my friends and we're just bar hopping and it's like a few of us, and if it gets douchey, we leave and we go somewhere else. Like that's actually really fun. Like that one night we were at Riley's house, like we ended up at the Hollywood Wax Museum. And it was just fun.
Just somehow.
Yeah, it was nighttime. Nobody was there. You know, like Dorian and I were making stupid videos of like Morgan Freeman's voice. And it was so fun. Yeah.
I can see that just like not planning it, just like it just naturally happens and you just have a good time with that.
Yes.
I can see that. But
like, it's still work because it's easier to sit on your couch.
Yeah. But now that the person I met loves going out and loves doing all this stuff, I feel myself like it takes not a pattern of it, I guess, just like a learned behavior of just like, okay, when I get home, I'm not going to take my pants off and sit on the couch. I am going to.
Which is sad because taking your pants off and sitting on your couch is a really amazing experience.
It's great.
I get it. Yeah.
I love it. And then nobody's here. I live alone. Put my no pants.
Yeah.
Then I go to my bed. I go to bed.
Yeah.
That's it. And I wake up the next day and I do it all over again.
Yeah.
But
then you don't want to fall into that routine because then it gets sad and lonely, right? So there's a difference between solitude and loneliness.
Yeah.
Because like I think we all, as much as it's hard work, we all need human connection to survive.
Definitely. We're what's that word? Not creature. Can't think of it. Social creatures is what we are.
Yeah.
So we need to be around people.
Yeah. And especially nowadays that we're all stuck looking at our screens. Like that's not human connection. Even if you're texting with friends, it's not the same thing as like me and you sitting here and like laughing together and hearing our voices and looking into each other's eyes. Like that's much more pleasant or much more positive energy inducing than just looking at your phone and here's an emoji. You know? It's like, it's weird.
Or on Instagram, like seeing what they post and it's like they're faking they're having a great time here and like it's all like fun and dandy and you feel like you're missing out on that. Yeah. And then you get sad with that.
Yeah. And then like I have all you guys watching my stories and it's so creepy.
Oh, you see, like when we watch your stories?
No, I don't really care. I just post things that I think is fun and interesting, and
that's what I do on Instagram. Like I post whatever would make somebody laugh and just be like, that's
but I also think it can become an addiction. So what I try to do is, okay, if I'm not actually interacting with other humans on social media, I don't want to be on social media just scrolling and looking at it. I think that's a waste of time.
It is.
But
you can find yourself doing that.
Yeah, so I'd rather just hang out with my friends in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, do you always have that opportunity or that ability?
Well, no, I'm actually much more, especially because I've been friends. I mean, since I grew up as a nerd, I've been friends with people in the nerd community for so long. And most of these people are introverts and most of these people like staying home. And so I'm the extrovert, you know, I'm the one that's always being like, come on, like, let's plan a taco crawl, right? Like, let's do something. Yeah, exactly. You know, which is weird, but I like planning things because I like seeing my friends. And I know if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah. But that was a good thing that you planned. The first taco crawl I went with you was the Hollywood one. And it was fun. It was like, okay, Saturday, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And like everybody got together.
And that was fun, right?
Yeah. And if you didn't do that, like nobody would, it would have taken like so many text messages and emails and blah, 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 just to get people in the same room.
And even people were thanking me for planning that because we all end up either seeing each other at work, like at the studio, or at a convention, but everyone's working. Everyone's work mode. Even if you grab a drink, it's not the same thing where you actually plan on like, okay, this is a night where we're just here to like have fun with our friends and relax. It's a different atmosphere than like, you know, seeing like Christian and Cody at the Collider studio.
Yeah, we're not networking.
No, because like you guys are always working.
Yeah. So. But Yeah, that was really fun. Like that taco crawl, just like also like I got to like go around Hollywood and see like what's available there.
Yeah, that it's not just stuff that you imagine that's not fun. There's actually fun stuff to do there.
There's like little like spots and little bars and like
LA is a great city. It's weird. Sure? Yeah. Yes, there's so much to do. There's so much. Like I think people that don't like it, it's because they don't know it.
Yeah.
Because there's everything. Any type of art and culture and food is here.
Really? So when people say like, oh, you can't find a good like pizza or something.
Yeah, that's not true.
It's not. Well, no. Didn't you say like you can't find good Mexican food here? Or somebody said that.
Are you serious? There's the best Mexican food the only great Mexican food outside of Mexico is in LA. There's so much good Mexican food and all kinds, not just like different types of tacos from like southern or northern Mexico, but mole or like Oaxacan food or like all these Sonora, like all these different states too. I'm never leaving unless I go back to Mexico because all the great Mexican food is here.
You're never leaving LA?
Well, I mean, I might. I'm just saying I really like the food
just
here.
Just for the food.
Yeah.
Well, you came here for college.
No, I moved to the States for college, but to San Diego.
Okay. To study music?
And business. I did I did like the practical like business major with a music minor.
Oh, okay.
Thing. Yeah. But the music minor was like a major because you had to also not just study like music theory, history, and composition, but you had to also do performance. So I had to like do cello and choir and voice and all this crap.
And it took up more time than your major.
But also like spending time on it. I didn't care about my business classes, right? Yeah. I was really into my music classes.
Was that your mom that was telling you to like, hey, like take a business course and not just be strictly music?
I don't think my mom ever forced me to do anything, but I think she would advise on try to have a balance between always having art around, but then also being practical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was your 18-year-old mind to be practical?
I don't know what I did yesterday. How am I going to know what choices I made when I was 18, Brian?
But that's a big choice to go to college for business.
But I also feel like when you're a teenager, you don't fucking know what you want.
Yeah. So who guided you? Who said, Dorina, don't fucking study cello? Be real.
I don't think my mom would have been anti me studying cello. I just think that because we didn't grow up with a lot of money, and my dad wouldn't really send money when we were kids. Like I think that I was trying to be practical myself.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I didn't want my mom. Like my mom had supported me and my brother and my grandma and my uncle with Down syndrome. Like that's 4 people by herself. It's like she's Wonder Woman.
What did your mom do?
When I was a kid, she worked. She grew up as a lawyer. Like she studied law and she became a judge.
Whoa.
But to get there, it was a while, and she, she was struggling financially because jobs in general for women, like back then, were horrible.
Yeah.
Or they didn't respect them or pay well. And like, fortunately, she was always clearly genetics. She was, not taking anyone's shit.
Yeah,
she got to a position where she became a judge.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't get away with anything.
Really? She
yes.
Like, what do you mean? You had to be like the perfect daughter because like no one. You can't.
Well, fortunately, I'm the young one, so my brother was already perfect. So I was the one that got away with a little bit more stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would think like with
but
my
we were good kids in general, though.
With my family, my brother, I feel like my brother would get away with more, and I wouldn't.
Are you the youngest or oldest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
So you're the baby like me.
Yeah.
And you have one brother.
One older brother.
Okay. How much older?
2 years.
Okay. See, mine's 7 years older, so there's a big difference.
Okay.
There.
But you feel like you were able to get away with... Oh, okay, because you're like, by the time you came out, your mom's like, it's like, let her do her thing.
Well, I think we were just good kids because we know how stressed out she was. We didn't want to give her a difficult life. Okay. So...
you didn't want to disappoint her.
Yeah, exactly. Because we know she worked so hard.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a wonderful mom. And so we didn't want to stress her out more.
So you didn't get into a lot of trouble or anything?
No.
Wow.
And I also couldn't because people knew who she was in Mexicali, like in my hometown. Like it's like they would tell her, Yeah.
So you didn't get into drinking or drugs or anything young?
Nope.
Like you were just like the perfect kid?
No, I moved to college to San Diego and I was like, party time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that why you moved to like San Diego State or something?
USD.
Okay.
University of Spoiled Daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the only non-spoiled daughter there.
Was it all just like white girls like partying?
It was so weird, man. Yeah. It was a culture shock because it was like 80% white Americans and then like 4 other Hispanic people who didn't like me and 1 black guy.
Why didn't the Hispanic people like you?
It was weird. It was that time where like there was weird kind of border relation. I mean, there's still weird border relations, but I just mean like we talked about this on the Wangers too. Like, the whole thing of like if you have if you when it was Mexican Americans that when I was around them, they would speak English. But if they were around Americans, they would speak Spanish. It's like they always kind of wanted their own group. And it was just specific to that group, right? Like I'm not talking about like all Mexican Americans, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was like a weird thing of like belonging to a group. And I was one of like the only other Mexicans in that school were like rich Mexicans that came from Mexico, right? So so it was weird. Like it was hard for me to like find my group because I was different and an outcast in every sense of the word, no matter what group I try to hang out with. And eventually like I found, like a cool Mexican American person, a cool American person, a cool like eventually I found my group, but it took me a while because people would just sometimes they're just not as accepting when you're different than them, Even
you would think like as a Mexican would be like, oh, it's another Mexican person, but like you were like, I don't want to say like too Mexican, where like you're just like speaking Spanish.
Well, it's weird. It's like I feel like sometimes people are like, you're either too white or too brown. It's so weird.
Well, that's like we talked about the Wanger Show where like I get made fun of because I don't speak Spanish. So I guess were you getting like the opposite reaction?
Yeah,
like you only speak Spanish?
It's weird. Yeah. Yeah,
you were getting racism from the Mexican American.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if it was necessarily racism. I think it's just a matter of like once you find your people, it's like you get that you're in that circle and you just trust each other, and it's hard to bring other people in that circle.
That's true.
Yeah, and I'm sure it goes both ways, right? Like I did grow up in a dumb society where we thought, oh, like, well, these people aren't real Mexicans, which is so dumb, to think that, but that's how we grew up. So maybe there was that stupid prejudice of like, oh, maybe this girl thinks she's better than us or something. You know what I mean?
You're saying like your beliefs, you were saying like because the Mexicans that live in America aren't true Mexicans.
That's how the society I grew up in, that's kind of how we thought, which was a dumb thing to do, but that's kind of what you think. Because like when I was a kid, like I mean, I think every place, every country has their own types of racism, and that was one of them for us. Like we're like, oh, well, Chicanos or Mexican Americans are just like they're not really Mexican, which is a dumb thing to say. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's weird, and I'm glad I don't think like that anymore. But when you're a kid, you just think what society around you thinks.
Yeah, well, you are a product of your environment, and like that's how you. And that's why you know.
You have to not be a sheep and fight to not think like everyone else around you because it's dangerous.
So you were able to do that as a child and like growing up.
But I think that's because of my mom. Like my mom was very different than most moms in Mexico. Yeah.
Well, she's a judge.
Yeah. Well, just in general, I mean, she was very. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're divorced. You need to get remarried." And she's like, "No, I don't."
She's like, "Yeah, you need to get married and just be a housewife." And she's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna be a judge."
Yeah. But that's the mentality of like doing the same thing everyone else is doing because if you do something different, then you're an enemy.
Yeah,
and that's wrong.
And then you have no one like with you. You're just like a lonely outcast.
Yes, which is why I grew up goth.
Well, it can be a scary thing, like thinking differently and people like not conforming to other people, and then like you think you're the weirdo, which you kind of are, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right?
You're just like, oh, I like this instead of like, oh, you guys like all these other crap.
Yeah, and we all grow up with our own prejudices, not just about dumb things about race and thinking we know what people are because of the way they look or the way they behave, but just we grew up thinking tattoos were bad. We know it's so dumb, like now like half of my friends have tattoos all over their bodies. It's not a big deal, but when we were kids, that was bad.
Well, same with my parents. I wonder if it's I wonder if we're like super connected because we're Mexican. Yeah. Because my mom like hates tattoos. She's like, you never get a tattoo. Don't get it on your arms because like if you reach for a handshake, they're going to see tattoos on your arms.
Especially if it's like a tattoo of a penis or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
You should get a tattoo of a penis.
Like just ejaculating
with their name, like it should say Brian's penis.
Yeah. This is my penis. Like,
yeah. Or or it should say Beardo on the penis, and then you should have a beard on the balls. Yeah. There you go. Thought of your tattoo. Thanks. You're welcome.
That'll be my first one. But no, that's how my mom was. She doesn't like tattoos because I guess but it was fear of judgment from other people.
Exactly.
So she's saying like, oh, like only trashy people get tattoos.
Yeah. That's what we used to think.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
But now everybody has it.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if it's just like in LA because like people are like artsy. And
I do wonder that if we're in some form of bubble because although it's weird, it's interesting because working at Google, as much as no company's perfect. One of the things I really enjoyed about working there is that it didn't matter what you looked like. It didn't matter what you wear.
See, that's the thing.
Like it's just like you're hired for your talent, and that's the most important thing.
That's the thing. Like it's a more liberal company.
Well, I don't know. I don't like the word liberal because I disagree with some liberals.
Well, no, okay. Yeah. There's levels of liberalism.
Yeah.
But liberal in a sense of like you don't have to come in a business suit every day.
Right.
Like,
exactly. Like being in wearing a business suit doesn't define how professional you are.
Yeah.
Or can be.
Like with my job, I can have a beard for my job. Like a conservative kind of type job, I wouldn't be able to have a beard.
Right.
Or I would have to have like a perfect
or green hair or or tattoos. Yeah.
So, but I wonder if that is an LA thing or just like these.
Or like big cities that aren't, like maybe small towns aren't like that as much. I don't know. Because even if you drive down south to Orange County, it's a little bit more traditional than here, right?
Is it?
That's what I hear.
Oh. I don't know. Excuse me.
It was so weird. I was at a P.F. Chang's bar area in Orange County, and I had heard that people a little bit more conservative or traditional there. Mm-hmm. And this guy, really loud guy with his girlfriend sat down next to me and Brennan, and they were playing women's basketball. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Can we change this to real sports?" Mm-hmm. And then he asked I felt Brennan's hand on my shoulder, do not please don't.
Oh, you were gonna engage?
Yeah. And so he asked the waiter, who was a Spanish speaker. So I had been talking to the waiter, and we've been we were friends by then.
Yeah, of course.
and he asked him to change the channel to baseball, and I'm like, so I just went. I'm like, oh, so you think baseball is a more entertaining sport than women's basketball, and it was funny because his girlfriend looks so just sad to be there with him. That's the only reason I spoke up, because I felt bad for her. And she actually kind of gave me a smile, and funny. So anyways.
Well, no, because that is the douchey, conservative, macho guy who's
so weird.
Let's watch guys play baseball.
Yeah.
And
I know Cody is how dare you?
Cody's from the OC.
Yeah. No, the baseball. He loves the baseball.
Baseball's the worst.
Well, both Christian and Cody love it, right?
Well, I don't know if Christian still watches, but he used to play.
Yeah.
I played too, and it was fun until it got too serious. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, why?
There's just, I don't have enough time to watch. And I like sports, but if I'm going to pick my sports, and baseball's on the bottom with golf. I'd much rather watch hockey and soccer. Those are sports that I find entertaining.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But do you invest in them?
I grew up with soccer just because of my culture, right? So
but you stick with it.
Still watch soccer.
the lineup and blah, blah,
yep.
blah.
Soccer is the only sport that I've always watched since I was a kid. And then I used to watch basketball when I was a kid, and I lost interest. And now I'm a new hockey fan. When I moved to LA, I became a Kings fan when I started going to the games, and hockey's so fun because it's basically soccer on ice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But
with fights.
Yeah.
I love those.
It's kinetic. It's always moving. And you just think how can these guys do this on skates?
Yeah, it's super impressive.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Even the referees are skating. I'm like, damn, even the referees are badasses.
The refs have to be these buff dudes who can skate around and avoid these guys colliding with them.
Yep.
Yeah. So you are into sports and music and movies. So you're just all around person.
I think I need all the things to keep myself entertained.
You get bored easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be like, I can't wait to have a day for myself. And after 3 hours of sitting on the couch, I'm going to text a friend.
Really?
Yes.
So you need that connection.
I love hanging out with people.
Really?
Yeah, I love this stuff. I love conversation. I love going to concerts with my friends. It's my favorite thing.
You post concerts daily.
Yes.
Literally daily.
Yes, I know it's exhausting for all of you, but I love going to concerts.
I don't even
There's
know.
nothing like live music.
There's concerts every day though. I only know a few
you live
venues.
in LA. There's several concerts every night, and I'm so sad I can't go to all of them. I always have to choose one.
What? Oh, because there's 2 on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
you can't
there's
go to both.
10 on a Tuesday.
Really?
Yes, there's so many venues in LA.
What are these venues? I know Palladium, the Roxy.
Well, the big ones, right? But there's smaller ones. And
where?
those everywhere. There's some downtown. There's the Terragram Ballroom. It's a great one. It's a smaller venue. And there's what's it called? There's another one I go to a lot. The Regent downtown.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, but that's where I'm a huge Spotify person. Mm-hmm. So anything I've discovered throughout the years, all those smaller bands, those are the bands I go see in LA. Oh, okay. And it's great because they're $20, tickets.
Yeah, they're not big yet.
And they're amazing live. It's great. I love it.
So you're able to go daily? Like,
No, I can't. I don't have time or money. But I try to go. I probably go to about 20 to 30 concerts a year.
a year?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you go like a month.
I know. Well, sometimes I go to like a concert every week, right? And then sometimes I don't go for a couple weeks or so.
Okay.
But that's really like live music. There's nothing like it. As much as I love movies and TV, live music. If I had to choose one, I would choose live music.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Like when you see somebody like actual like talent, like performing in front of you, it's great.
But it's also sound is different than something that's visual, right? Like I can appreciate filmmaking and its art and it's incredible, but a film without music is not the same to me.
Yeah.
You know, and so the way we perceive audio is so fascinating to me because it's not tangible. You know, and so and we can't see it, we can't visualize it, so we're more so feeling it.
You feel it on an emotional level.
Yeah,
like how yeah,
and that's like if you want to make me cry, you can play a piece of music much more than seeing some movie where it's like, okay, now it's time to cry because it's the sad part in the movie. Right, exactly. Like that's why, you know, we get into fights about it, but that's why Infinity War didn't hit me because the music wasn't emotional for me.
Oh, you feel like the score wasn't there.
Yeah, and so whereas like if I watch E.T., the ending, I would be a mess.
Yeah.
Because of the music.
Oh. John Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good job, Brian.
Well, I'm sure he did all Spielberg.
I was trying to give you props. But yeah, that was very easy.
Yeah. But yeah, well, especially like comic book movies, we talked about this before too, like stuff where it's like 4-quadrant, just like in the middle of the road, like this is
like background music. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this, I can't get connected to it. Like when I did commentaries with the Wangers for like all the Marvel movies and like Cody. By
Marvel, do you mean Fox and MCU or just one of them?
Just strictly MCU.
Okay.
Yeah. So like when we had to watch like the first Captain America and Cody's like weeping at the end and I'm like, why? Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
But like I guess like for him it's just like he connects with the character, but I'm just like, this is so dumb. This is just like bad versus evil.
Yeah.
And
but then you know what? I take people to watch Blade Runner with me and they fall asleep and I'm crying every time Roy Batty delivers that monologue to Vangelis' score.
Okay.
You know, so
you're crying because of the monologue?
Both.
Or both of them mixed
to
together?
that score.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing that gets me. Like if you want to see me cry, you just play that.
At the end of Blade Runner. Okay.
Yeah. Every time. I hate it.
What else makes you like just bawl?
Really bad tacos.
There's your funny side coming out again.
See, I can be funny. I'm not just goth.
Yeah. But like, okay, like
what movie makes you cry?
Movies where like someone triumphs at the end,
like a Rudy.
Yeah, or even like it doesn't have to be like a
sports.
Yeah,
like Dead Poet Society.
I haven't seen that.
I think you would like it.
I didn't grow up in the 80s like you did.
I think you would like it.
Probably.
What year did you?
I was born 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say you're 19.
I
can do
2009. Add
so you're
one more
almost
decade.
30.
I'm about to. Well, I just turned 29. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. When was your birthday?
February.
Did I say happy birthday?
No, I don't care about it.
Okay, well, yeah, you're like me where you don't celebrate it.
Well, it's like why I can understand if like you want to get together with friends and stuff, but it's like it's 29.
Yeah.
Like who gives a fuck?
I stopped. Yeah, I don't care. After 30, I was like, fuck it. I don't care.
But for women, isn't it like a whole month thing?
No, there's no such thing as for women or for men unless it's sex toys.
Okay. Well, no, because men can have some, I guess.
Have some what?
Sex toys that women use?
That's true. I guess you could technically use any sex toy. So yeah, so there's no such thing as for women or for men.
But I'm saying I know more women that will celebrate their whole month than men who are like, it's my birthday month.
I don't.
You don't care about your birthday?
No.
At all?
And I don't think any of my girlfriends do either.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Okay, then maybe it's just my...
maybe it's the people you hang out with.
It's my vapid girlfriend.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I gotta like...
You're also possibly, I think in general, it's not a guy or girl thing. I think younger people make a bigger deal of birthdays.
That's the thing. I feel like after 21, like birthdays don't really matter.
Yeah.
Unless it's like you're 30 or you're 40 or 50.
Right. Like I make a big deal about Halloween, but not my birthday.
Why do you care about Halloween?
Because it's like the coolest holiday ever, and it's all the fun horror things. And
but why?
Because it's cool, and you get to dress up, and you get to go to haunted mazes, and you get to do all this fun Halloween stuff, and go to horror movie festivals. It's like a really happy time for me. It's like Christmas for other people. Halloween is for me.
Why do you feel like that though? Like why?
It makes me happy.
The horrorness.
Yes.
The horrifying. Death and destruction and blood and guts and everything.
It like I said earlier, it makes me face my fears, and it's a different type of filmmaking. I think horror in general, really good horror movies are different than most films. I think that because they're not just it's not just the way the psychology behind it and what the story is saying, where you're analyzing existence, like I said earlier, but visually, like if you see a John Carpenter movie, like the practical effects, or Cronenberg, right? Like The Fly, like most movies don't look like that. Yeah. Most movies don't gross you out. Most movies don't make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. There's just like a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah.
That like you can't explain it, but like you just feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you like that.
Well, because it makes you think. I like art that isn't it's art that is formulaic, and I know how it's gonna end.
Yeah.
Is boring to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I want art that challenges me and that makes me uncomfortable, so I can think about it, and I feel like that helps me evolve as a human.
Like you more than surface level stuff.
Correct. That's why I don't like the generic formulaic movies like Avengers: Age of Ultron or like a Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Yeah, it's just I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's.
But what about Fighting with My Family?
I like that a lot.
See, that's kind of formulaic though.
Yeah. But I liked it. It's not something that I'd be like, "Ooh, I'm dying to see it again."
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
See, I cried during that movie because at the end she like worked her ass off. And she's triumphant and she becomes the champion, even though it's like it's written, but maybe she worked for it.
Yeah, but maybe it's generic in the way of like what type of story it is.
Yeah.
But if it's well written, and directed, and edited, like it changes it, right? Like there's also superhero movies that are generic that I like. Like they're. I still love Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That's like just a fun action sort of spy movie.
Yeah.
And maybe it is generic, but the action scenes and the fight scenes are shot really well.
Yeah.
And that's from like a filmmaking perspective. Like it's not a super deep movie, but it's well done enough where it's entertaining. It's not going to make me cry, but I'm going to enjoy watching it. Because
it is deper than just like bad versus evil.
Exactly. Although, Doctor Strange did make me cry though.
Why?
When Tilda Swinton's character, the ancient one, is talking to him in the balcony and she's talking about her death.
She kind of gives like a Blade Runner monologue.
Yeah. And she's like, it's not about you. She says that and I'm like, yes. I was so into that.
So you like thinking of existence and all this shit.
I love it so much.
But why? You're looking for the answer or you're just like, there is no answer?
We don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out, Brian.
So you're still trying to find out? Yeah,
but I don't know if I'll find out. So I think it's helped me be a better human.
Okay.
Be a less shitty human, if you want to say that. Because if I'm thinking about life on a larger scale, I know it's not about me. If I'm thinking about just the stupid daily routine shit of like stuff that doesn't matter, I want to think about stuff that matters because that makes me be less of an asshole and makes me live my life in a way that I think is more noble than just oh, my phone broke. Ugh. Yeah. I'm so mad. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
it's a fucking phone. Who cares?
Yeah. So you like the bigger picture where you feel like insignificant in a world of.
I love feeling small. Yes.
You like feeling that feeling? Isn't it scary though?
Yes, but in a good way. That? Because I like scary things like that too. Like if you're just sitting in nature and you're looking at the stars and you're listening to like fucking Pink Floyd or whatever, like that stuff is great. That's how I like feeling small. Because I feel like it makes me feel less alone and it makes me feel like I'm more connected to nature and like other humans.
It also makes you feel like deep down we're just animals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which we are.
We are animals,
yes.
But we have a conscience. We have just like a more evolved brain where we can see introspectively, if that's the right word, where like we can understand and think about these things. Where like a bear isn't like, what is life?
Right. That we know of.
Would it
bears are smarter than us.
What if they're like super contemplative and they can understand everything?
Yeah, and look at these fucking idiot humans. They're just like, that's why I'm going to eat them.
Yeah.
And I'm so cute and fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how it is, where it's like we are these creatures who are just like, why?
Yeah. And why do you think movies and music and all of these different art forms are so big? Like, why do you think everybody, even people that aren't deep thinkers, like they still relate to them? Because it's not just a matter of being entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not entertainment only, right? It's also it's escapism.
Yeah.
And it's just also, I think people don't want to just think about the day-to-day routine things that don't matter as much, even if they don't know it, you know?
Yeah. Like subconsciously, they just want to escape and just be like, they want to see Captain Marvel kick someone's ass.
Yeah. It's not just that, I don't think.
It's
sometimes you do. Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to see I love stupid movies. I love bad movies too.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I want brainless things where I don't have to think all the time.
Yeah.
But I need both.
You need the balance of both. Okay. So you're saying like, why do you think like the majority, or not even majority, like why are movies and music so popular? It's just that visceral that emotional level that we connect to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also makes you also, as much as I think people can complain about humanity and how they get annoyed at other humans, I think at the end of the day, people realize that we need other humans to survive. And so those types of things connect us as well, like any sort of art form.
Connects us as people. What do you, like? How do you mean connects us? Like if we enjoy a laugh together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you're watching, or even just as a creator, like a filmmaker, you make something that touches other people, right? You're connecting in that way with an audience, and the audience is connecting with you. Right?
Yeah. What do you say? So the audience connects with the filmmaker?
Yeah, both. Like there's another way to touch people by your art as well. As a creator. Yeah,
the audience is accepting of the message
and can relate to whatever message and not all of the audience, obviously, but you can connect to some of them. And I think that that's where you find like understanding in each other. And that's why, I have my friends that I go see all these snobby, artsy things, and then I have my friends where I can just go see a stupid, fun blockbuster. So you need both.
You do. Yeah, I guess I do. I do like the balance, but I do like the deeper movies, or it's like I like the discussing of the movies afterwards, like The Favorite. I like that.
I love The Favorite.
I like talking about it afterwards, and like, oh, like Emma Stone's character was really this, like the whole time.
Rachel Weisz,
she was great.
Olivia Colman, they're all great.
Olivia
Colman's the best. Movie.
Yeah,
so good.
After
she was so good at being like an asshole, but also someone that you feel so much sympathy for.
Olivia Colman's character.
Yes, the queen.
She was the asshole?
She was, yeah.
I would say Rachel Weisz was the asshole.
No, they were all assholes.
But I would say Rachel Weisz was manipulating Olivia.
They all were.
But how was Olivia Colman?
Well, she was more of like, she was the queen, right? So she was more of like a baby. She was like an asshole in the sense.
Child.
Exactly. She was an asshole in that way that she wanted everything, like people to cater to her because she felt so lonely, right? And that's why you sympathize with her. But then at the end of the movie, she learns how to manipulate the people around her because after she's been manipulated the whole movie.
She was manipulated by Emma Stone. Or
both of them.
By both.
Yeah, they were both competing for her approval, right?
And you think at one point she realized that and she turned the tables on them?
I think so, yeah.
Well, I like the very last scene.
Yeah.
Where she's like, you know what, get on your knees and just do this.
Exactly.
And like, you're nothing.
Yeah. That's what I got from it. Okay. Why did you like it so much?
It was funny. I like that, like that deep humor, that dark humor. The performances were great. I like the
cinematography and stuff.
I liked the cinematography, but I didn't like the wide angles.
Okay.
I didn't care for those fisheye for some reason.
Right.
But it was funny. It was dark. It was just like, and the dynamic between them, between like the characters, like Emma Stone's character, when you do think about it, like, oh, she was manipulative from the beginning. When she was like going, when the queen came in and she coughed, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just sick from like getting the stuff for your leg.
Right.
And like, you think it's cute in the beginning. Like when you first see it, she's like, oh, like she's just kind of like bragging that she helped the queen. But like it's her putting on a front, being a con man.
So you thought she was actually like a good person when she first came in?
Initially, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh,
it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I knew she was gonna immediately like try to get her way up the ladder, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I thought like in a traditional sense of like, oh, working your way up the corporate ladder.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
I see what you're saying.
We're like, okay, like she's gonna work in the kitchen or just like go through the steps, and then like she does want to be by the queen's side.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually I realized that, oh, she's not as good a person as I thought she was.
Yeah.
But you knew she was a bitch from the beginning.
I mean, I figured she would be. I don't know if I was super serious. What's it called?
Or you were like thinking ahead and just like, okay, she might turn.
Yeah, I wasn't like convinced immediately, but it wasn't surprised, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but those are the movies I like, right? Where like they're showing humans that are doing shitty things, but can also behave in a noble way at the same time. Like they're showing humans be gray and not just like complete dicks. Because most people aren't black and white, right?
Yeah.
Like, most of us do make mistakes, but at the end of the day, we're also trying to survive and be good.
That's the thing. We're like, no one's just like, oh, I'm the evil bad guy and I do nothing but evilness. Like there has to be that gray area where it's like, oh, I do have a conscience. I don't want to do this, but I have to.
Exactly.
And did you see Vice?
I did, but I turned it off. Not because I didn't hate it. I just got kind of bored.
Yeah.
And I had so many Oscar movies to see, so I was like, even though I love Sam Rockwell, I love that actor, and exactly that's why I was like, meh.
So you got to his part because he was like towards the end or like middle-ish.
I don't remember. I just remember I was just like, this is fine, but I don't understand why it's not like half of the movies that were nominated last year for Best Picture. I did not understand why.
Exactly.
I didn't get. There were so many other movies that were better.
Like someone posted like Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, these are the 10 movies, and I was like, 5 shouldn't be there.
I agreed.
Yeah, but Vice was not another, but it was a thing where I'm like, Adam McKay's painting Dick Cheney as just like this evil, no nonsense bad guy, and I was like, it kind of came off
cartoonish. Agreed.
Yeah, or it's like I'm the bad guy. I'm twirling my mustache, and I'm just like,
it's not a believable human character.
No, and there were like.
Not saying he's this like amazing person or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that it's more believable when you have the characters have human traits.
Yeah. And there were like hints of humanity within him where like his daughter came out as a lesbian and he's like, what are we gonna do?
Right.
Like I'm running on this campaign of like traditional marriage. And then Amy Adams comes in and is like, you know what to do. And it is like kind of like villainy where it's just like cartoonish. Like,
what was your favorite movie last year?
I think the favorite.
Okay.
But if
I can accept that.
Yeah.
Because that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the Wangers. Like, I really liked Mr. Rogers, the documentary.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I bawled my eyes out
I've
every time.
never cried at a movie so much in my life. Like, I was a mess in that movie.
Yeah. And I felt, well, because like because I was like bawling, like tears like coming out, and I was like wiping my eyes. I don't want to be like, people like look. I'm sure like everyone else was crying probably.
Yeah.
But that was the one that was just like, what was the part in the movie that got you the most?
The whole time.
Well,
because I grew up with him, right? He was like my TV babysitter.
Yeah.
Right. Like I watched PBS as a kid. I watched him. I watched Bob Ross. I watched like Shiny Time Station, like all those 80s kid shows.
The public access.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Public acid also could have worked with Bob Ross. But Mr. Rogers, I just have so much respect for that guy because he treated kids with respect in the sense that he didn't dumb things down for them.
Yeah.
You know, and he talked about all these big topics like divorce and death in a way that kind of respecting that kids have the same emotions as adults.
Yeah.
And that's important for kids to grow up to not be assholes. Instead of just showing them like, look at this cat eat this mouse.
Yeah.
You know, they're not idiots, right?
Well,
not saying that I don't like, like Looney Tunes. I love that shit. But it's good to have that.
He understood that kids do have these feelings and these emotions. They just can't articulate them.
Exactly.
Or don't really understand why they're feeling this certain way.
Yeah.
And he's trying to explain that to them or show them that it's okay to feel sad sometimes.
Yeah. And even like when he would sing with like a little kid in a wheelchair, like most of the time people are like, oh, that's like a cheesy song. It's like, no, you believed, like kindness just exuded out of this man. It's like he really cared for people. He cared to make a good impact in society and help make humans, good people. And it's completely genuine through the screen, you know? And when he did that thing where like, he had who was was it a police officer that was black? No, there was a black guy that was one of the characters.
Yeah.
Where he basically had a kiddie pool.
Yeah.
And he put water in it, and he made him and he himself took off his shoes.
Yeah.
And so you could see the two colors of the skin or whatever
Yeah.
in a kiddie pool together. And he was making a statement about how we're all the same.
Yeah.
You know, and in a really simple way.
Yeah.
That was so smart and just showing like it's we're all the same. It doesn't matter what we look like.
Well, it was at a time when pools were segregated, and then he was just showing like it's okay for like us to share the same pool.
Exactly.
And not dumbing it down and be like, well, black guy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it was more meaningful.
Yeah. I've cried at movies before where it's like a one scene. Mr. Rogers was like the entire movie.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like the whole theater, like when it was over, everyone's just like sniffling. Like we're all just a mess. It was, yeah.
My biggest moment from that was the Senate hearing.
That was good.
That to me, like I like the triumph thing. Like he did this deposition or whatever you call it, where like he gave this whole speech. And at the end, the senators, whoever, congressman, was like, you know what, like we do need access or funding for the arts.
And he described it in such a simple way to like help him understand why we need that, you know?
Yeah. And then like stuff like that, where like you can't really like tell somebody.
Yeah.
Because like if you tell somebody something, like they're not going to understand it and they're not going to like listen to you.
No.
But if you show them or you make them feel something, like there was a scene where he has like a puppet next to another guy, and I think it was like for an interview.
Oh yeah.
And the guy was like, "So you talk to puppets or something?" Like he didn't really like believe his shtick.
Right.
And then like he started talking to the puppet, and he's like, "Wow, I do feel something, and this does actually work."
Right.
So that's another moment that got me.
It was really good. I was so mad at the Oscars for not nominating it.
Right? Like what the fuck was that about?
So dumb.
I
gave Bohemian Rhapsody like 4 Oscars, and it's just I hate. Anyways,
but I haven't seen Free Solo, but I'm sure it's good. I hear good things about it.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, but did you see what's the Hulu documentary about skateboarding?
No, I didn't.
That was a good one too.
Okay,
that one deals with a lot of like. Do you know what it's about?
Yeah,
like,
I just never saw it.
I forgot what it's called.
But there's so much good stuff out there that it's so hard. Like I wish I had just a month where I could just sit and watch all the TV, because there's so much cool stuff and like way more than when we were kids.
Yeah.
Where you just had like TV channels.
There's almost too much. Where like I can't get to it all, and like
I finally, now that I've had a little more time lately because I was so busy, I finally started watching Netflix again, and I just finished Sex Education. If you haven't seen it, it's great.
Sex Education?
Yeah, it's with Gillian Anderson, who I will watch all her shows because she always makes good choices, like Hannibal and The Fall, and she does great shit. But it's a really good show, and she's a sex therapist, and she has a son that has issues, like he's like in high school, and he has issues with kind of sexually repressed like himself because of his own upbringing, and like maybe because his mom is a sex therapist, you know, like dealing with all those themes of like he's still a virgin and he wants to have sex but doesn't know how, and all these things. And
kind of like it's kind of ironic that like the son of a sex therapist is like having these issues.
Yeah, and he starts actually giving sex therapy advice to other high schoolers with this girl who's like helping him like make money off of it.
But he hadn't had sex himself.
No, but he knows everything his mom has, studied, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it just looks at sex in a healthy way. It looks at more. It's kind of not just breaking taboos about how we see sex as a society, but just treating teenagers and adults both with respect as to like how we all have issues dealing with this, and we should just look at it in a more natural way and talk about it and. Because we don't,
Well, that is the thing too. Like going back to like Mr. Rogers, like treating kids who like understand these things. Like when you get to a teenager, like they're going through this too, and you have to talk to them as if they were adults,
right?
And understand and what they're going through and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I just said this I think it was on Collider Live, that Brett and Harloff both have little girls, and they get very dad like, where they're like, oh, once she becomes older, I'm gonna keep her in like a mountain, and I'm like, like your daughters are gonna have sex one day, and you need to be okay with this. Like this is happening. It's this weird thing that people have like claim ownership over their kids, and I'm like, no, like this, you did it, they're gonna do it too, and you need and it's better to talk about it in a natural, healthy way than not to talk about it and make it look like it's a bad thing, because it's not.
Yeah. So when the daughter does think it's a bad thing or something, then she'll like sneak away and do
Exactly.
it like in the wrong way
Mm-hmm.
or something dangerous.
Well, it's better to be educated and just because it is normal. Like we all do it.
Yeah.
It's like eating and sleeping,
Eating, sleeping,
but
sex.
more fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoy eating.
I do too. You're right. They're both great.
Yeah. But no, I understand. So is it a comedy? The Sex Education on Netflix?
Sort of, yeah.
It's like kind of like a dry like humor type
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. No, it's really fun and it's got a great like retro vibe and good soundtrack too.
Is
good,
it
good
set in the
soundtrack.
90s?
I don't think so. I forget.
Or is it current?
I don't know, but it's got this retro vibe. It's just really good. I
good.
really recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these things that like are on Netflix and in the movies and like all this stuff that we don't hear about because all the main ones get all the attention and like you see the Avengers all over Jimmy Kimmel.
I know it's kind of sad that did you grow up with comic books like I did?
No, I didn't get my first one until I was like 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
But was it superhero related?
2 of them were. One was sex related. Have you heard of Sex Criminals?
Of course I have. It's a great comic by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, and they had, I think they were going to make it into a show.
Well, I was at a, whoa, my voice sounds louder. Am I like doing the microphone right? No, I was at Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle and Chip Zdarsky was there. I don't know how you say his name, but he's hilarious. He's so funny. And he was on stage being interviewed for Sex Criminals.
Yeah.
And because he does the art and I think writes a little bit with Matt. But he ended up spooning with the interviewer and they were both dudes were just like on the couch doing the interview and they were just being so funny and he started buttoning his shirt and it was this whole he's great. Wow. I love him.
Yeah. I enjoyed the comic because
it's good.
When I first I met a buddy who was like super into comic books and I had no idea like what to do because I asked him, he's like it's like learning how to watch TV for the first time because there's so many like shows and issues and all this stuff. So when I went to the store, like the main girl, she's like, I wanted a Batman one. I think my first one was a Batman comic.
Do you remember which one?
I don't know. It's probably over there somewhere.
Okay.
Not sure. But then the other one was Sex Criminals. Okay. She's like, oh, it's about these guys who, when they have sex, time stops and they rob banks.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So like, what happens? And then I read it and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's funny because I grew up with superhero comics and then I stopped reading them when I became an adult and I started reading more of that type of stuff, like more of like the indie alternative comics.
Image comics.
And, exactly. Yeah. And like IDW. And I got really into Brian K. Vaughan is my favorite author. And so he did Saga. He's most famous for that, which is like a really cool sci-fi book with I think it's Fiona Staples is the artist. It's really cool. But my favorite of his is Why the Last Man. So you haven't read that. That's my favorite comic book series. And they're actually turning it into an FX TV show. And it's about literally like every man on earth dies from this weird disease except for this one guy. And so it's just him and women.
Oh.
So it's a really interesting, like sort of dystopian future story.
Where he's the last man.
It's him and his male monkey pet, and a bunch of women that start running things. So it's a really fascinating story.
But it's funny.
Both.
Oh, it's just like all around.
It's just like an adult, like alternative type comic book.
What's it called again?
Why the Last Man.
Why the Last Man.
Yeah.
Have you heard of The Wicked and the Divine?
Yeah, I haven't read it though.
That's another one that people were recommending to me when I first started, but I never got into that.
What about another one I like by Joe Hill, who's Stephen King's son? Lock and Key is a really cool horror comic. And that I think they're making a series. They made like a pilot, but I don't know what they're doing. But it's really good too.
I think, my first comic was Batman 66.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. When that's what's weird. Like I asked if you grew up with comics because it's so weird to have grown up, with the Batman and X-Men like cartoons and comics, and now to be kind of oversaturated by all of these superhero movies. Like I kind of feel spoiled.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like kind of obnoxious that, Avengers and Star Wars and all these things that I loved as a kid. Well, not so much the Avengers, but like, cause I liked X-Men more so than the Avengers, but it's weird that now we have so much of it that I get sick of it.
Yeah.
And I want to see something different, which is probably why I read other comics and like other movies.
Also because you're older.
Maybe.
Well, because like I'm
but
sure.
I still watch like the Michael Keaton movies and I enjoy them a lot.
Well, because that's like a nostalgia thing, no?
Well, and Michael Keaton's perfect.
He's good.
He's perfect.
He's all right.
He's perfect.
Did you see?
And Michelle Pfeiffer's perfect too.
She's good.
She's a great Catwoman.
Did you see when Michael Keaton thought he was going to win the Oscar and they called Eddie Redmayne's name and he puts his thank you note back?
Oh, did he do that?
I think.
Oh,
yeah.
He was happy. What's it called? That movie won though. Spotlight. He was in.
Oh, it won Best Picture?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a good movie.
There was like a renaissance of like Michael Keaton after.
As there should be.
After Birdman.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of Birdman?
Loved it.
It's great, right?
Loved it.
I don't get the hate for it. A lot of people are hating it.
I think it's just people being like, oh, whatever, like, wham, an actor, you know, which I get, but it's a really well-made film that I don't care what it's about.
And it's so well made and the performances were great.
Yes.
Where you try acting in a scene where like you're walking around and then stopping and then delivering a monologue and then like the blocking and everything. I know it sounds dumb, but like it does take talent.
But I also think that some people just aren't into magical realism stuff, which I am.
Yeah.
You know, and so that movie has a lot of that type of stuff in it.
It got weird.
And so I love shit like that. It's like that's why I love David Lynch, right? But some people just aren't into it. It's weird. It's like they can suspend disbelief for a flying superhero, but they can't for sort of what's supposed to be like a normal people movie.
Well, because with Birdman, like it starts off grounded and then it gets absurd, and people just get uncomfortable with that. They're like,
exactly. I think that's what it is more. Well, this is making me. I think maybe it takes them out of the movie because they're like, oh, this isn't normal. Whereas for me, I'm like, yes, this is weird as fuck. Give it to me.
Well, it's also like they expect...
Kind of like a Coen Brothers movie, you know?
Yeah. They expected something different and then like it goes this different way and they're not on board with it.
Oh, people don't like different.
Yeah.
People get very upset when you change what they expect.
Yeah.
Yes.
You haven't seen A Serious Man, have you?
I have.
You saw it?
Yes.
Well, after I told you to see it?
Yeah.
Really?
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that because like I
liked it?
Yeah.
No, it's a good movie.
It's great.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
It's not great.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I guess it's one of maybe because I saw it so much after it was released.
Why would that?
Like when was it released? Like 5 years ago?
2010, 2009, around there.
Really? Damn, we're old.
Yeah. It was nominated for Best Picture, but nobody saw it because it was the time when like there was like. It was the first time like 8 nominations were nominated and blah, blah, blah. You know,
8 nominations were nominated?
Fuck off.
Do you want another shot?
No. 8 movies were nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And then that one kind of just like snuck in. It's like, oh, A Serious Man is also nominated. But I loved it. It goes back to the thing of like the nihilistic, like, what are we doing?
Yes.
And the movie just kind of ends. And you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And
which is probably why some people didn't enjoy it, right? But I like that.
But I'm sure nobody saw it.
So I mean, I guess film fans did.
Film people did. Coen Brothers fans, like
exactly.
people in like their bubble of the movie industry. Yeah. But I loved it. Like from the beginning, the opening, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in with the rest of the movie. I read that they kind of just shot that because it puts you in this mood for the rest of the movie. Because there's no connection to the rest of the movie with that opening scene. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. Because it's really weird. They talk about a Dybbuk. And it's like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And it's like a ghost, but it's not. It's strange.
I love stuff like that, though. Like, did you see A Ghost Story?
I didn't see that.
So that one's a really slow-moving movie.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of dialogue. And it's like long scenes where people are grieving and it's depressing. But it's on that vein where it's like, sometimes it feels like it's just a normal human scene. And then sometimes it feels like it's magical realism, right? And sometimes it feels like it's like you don't know what is going on or if it's like a dream within a dream or whatever. But I like stuff like that because I prefer art that doesn't tell you what to think. And that kind of makes you come up with your own conclusion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes you question it. And come up with your own interpretation. Like, is that real? Like, do we know what's going on? Like, who do we trust? Who do we believe?
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. Did you see Mother?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a well-made film that I immediately knew what was happening. And it was like kind of like they were beating me over the head with like, this is the metaphor for this. And like, I mean, I think all the actors are good and it's a well-made film. I just, at some point I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it went deeper than that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because because you grew up with Catholicism,
Exactly.
so you understood everything.
Immediately, I was like, okay.
I didn't get any of that.
Okay, so did you love it?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And after the because it does get absurd and weird, and I found it funny, and ridiculous and absurd. But
you were entertained the whole time.
Yeah, I was never bored, and I was
also you said it wrong, by the way. It's mother.
I get it. There's an exclamation point.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I love saying it. Mother.
One more time.
Mother.
All right. No, but because I didn't get the metaphor and the biblical references initially, I can see if I did understand that and the rib of Adam and Eve and blah, 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 and all that stuff, it would be like bashing you over the head. Like, this is about religion.
Exactly.
But
or even if it's not about religion, it's like it's taken from that story.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I'm like, oh, I know where this is headed, and I know which character is playing in, like, which Bible character this actor is supposed to be. Yeah. You know, so this is weird.
I didn't get any of that, so I interpreted it for myself. Okay. Which I was like, oh, this is like this and then that. Yeah. I thought of like the Javier Bardem character as like kind of like this Joel Osteen type, like I am the word of God type thing,
like a prophet type person. Yeah,
not really. Like
like
really
he thinks
God.
He is, but he's not.
Yeah. So when he
Kanye,
he thinks he's God,
right?
So when he does write the book and like he gets these followers right away, I'm like, oh, that's like the guys in the sermon who are just like, read my book and doing this for profit and all that. But I can see if like you understand the metaphor, it just reinforces it over and over again.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, anything with Michelle Pfeiffer, I'm like, I'm in. Whatever, I'll watch her forever.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's interesting with like Aronofsky movies. I really want to rewatch Requiem for a Dream, but I can't because it's so depressing. It's weird.
It's not.
It's kind of like, let's rewatch Schindler's List. You know, it's like, who wants to do that?
Right. That's the thing of like, Mark Ellis asked me, he's like, would you ever watch Mother again? I was like, probably not.
Yeah, because it's weird.
Yeah.
It's not a happy movie.
I enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
But like to sit down, like, let me pop in that movie. Like, I don't think so.
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Not because it's a bad movie. It's just like, it's not a, it's, because even with like, I like dark shit, but it's like, there's also, did you see Mandy?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, I'm going to make you guys watch it.
Yeah.
But there's movies like that where like they do have really, kind of over the top heartbreaking scenes, but then they also have like cool, almost comedic, like throwback 80s action scenes, right? And so it can be both a dark, sad, depressing movie, but also a fun kind of revenge story, you know? So when I can rewatch those because I know I'm going to get something that's not just 100% like the world is horrible and let's all cry all the time,
like
you know?
gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
Okay. I should see that then.
You should.
Mandy?
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'm going to try to find a theater showing and tell you guys. Because you have to watch it in a theater. It's like 2001. Like it's visually beautiful. It's not just, I think it's groundbreaking. Like the color correction for people like you guys that are really into filmmaking, like you'll be stunned at how beautiful it looks.
Isn't it just like all reddish? Like the hue is just like all red? Like what?
No, I mean, it's everything. There's like all these like pink, purple, bright blue colors, but it's also slow moving in the sense of like all of a sudden you're seeing this character's face that turns into like a close up of a face that turns into the other character. And so it's like a psychedelic trip.
Oh.
The entire thing.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like kind of straightforward.
Well, if I said it's good, Brian, it's good.
I don't trust your opinion.
Why?
I don't know. I get lazy and
But it's also work. It's like you have to go to the theater and watch these movies because that's how they're meant to be.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like seeing, but I also don't like going to movies.
Really?
Just because people are annoying and
they can be, but I feel like most of those movies people are that are real like film fans will respect being in the theater with you and like not talking and not being obnoxious because they respect the film.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like when I saw The Favorite, it was an older crowd.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like cracking jokes and like.
That's why the Landmark Theater on Pico is my favorite. Because it's all old people.
Is it old people?
Mm-hmm. I love it there.
I like that. But then old people talk to the screen sometimes. Or that's experiences I've had at AMC. Where like they feel like they're on their couch at home. They're like, that guy's gonna be.
Although, I don't mind that during like cheesy horror movies. Yeah. Like when you see people freaking out.
Yeah.
I actually think it's funny. Like Like when somebody's just like, bitch, don't do that. You know, I'm like, that's actually not funny. Like, I don't care. Unless it's like a movie I'm really looking forward to. If it's like a Halloween movie or something fun, I don't care.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Halloween, I didn't really care for, but I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you see Us? I haven't seen Us yet.
I loved it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll see it then. Don't say anything about it.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it, and I want to see it like blindly. Like,
Yes.
don't be like, oh, like wait for the end. Blah, blah.
Nope. Just watch it.
Okay. We talked a lot. Probably too much.
What time is it?
If that's right, it's 8:00.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Do you have somewhere to be?
No, you're just, I don't know. You were saying we talked blood and we're done now.
It's been an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how long you want to go. Do you
I
have
don't
anything
care.
else you want to talk about?
How long do these things go?
About an hour and a half.
Oh. And why are you asking me? What else did you want to ask me?
I don't know. Let me think. Let me take a drink and think about it. All right.
Have you ever got like other guests where you get this like nerdy into existential stuff?
Not really into movies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's more no, I enjoy it. That's what I like. That's why I like seeing movies and talking about it and like discussing it. Most of these shows that I've been into are like about yourself. I told you like this show's gonna be about you.
Yeah, no,
not about Mandy.
Yeah, and now I'm like, no, I want to talk about Mandy the whole time.
Like I said, I wanted to go back to like, why didn't you have friends?
Oh, I think it's because I grew up, because my brother's 7 years older than me, I just hung out with adults all the time.
That's what I wanted to be with my older brother.
And I just, when I was at recess at school,
Mm-hmm.
I would sit there like Wednesday Addams and eat my delicious bologna sandwich and watch all these kids run around me and fall and throw each other in the mud. And I'm like, I was never like that.
You were never like rambunctious and like
never.
Wow.
I never even played. I didn't have an imaginary friend. I didn't play like, you know how kids had
like house or something.
No,
like,
no. I liked my friend. I liked my brother's Hot Wheels and you know and like puzzles and video games. Like I like my original Nintendo. You know, like I never was into stuff that I guess most kids were, and so I just didn't. I also just was really surprisingly a super shy, quiet kid. And I didn't reach out to talk to friends until I was in junior high.
So you literally didn't have like a buddy in elementary school? Like how would you survive? Like,
with my family. It was literally just my mom, my brother, and my mom's best friend.
Yeah, but like in class, in school, like you didn't have anybody to joke around. So you just go to school, mouth shut, get your work done, and go home?
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
And then at home you'd play with your brother?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, because it was just my mom, him, and I. We would just play board games and like you know sing and play the guitar and piano and like family stuff and go eat tacos or like my mom would make hot dogs and sandwiches and we go to the theater and watch movies.
Oh, so you got like shown movies early.
Yeah. No, we watched a lot of movies
like in theaters
and TV shows and listened to a lot of music.
What was your first theater experience or like one of your early theater experiences?
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess something I remember a lot was watching. We watched Home Alone like 8 times in the theater.
In the theater?
Because we loved it so much. We thought it was the funniest movie ever.
Really?
As kids. Like we loved it. We just I'm like, look at those idiots falling. This is the best thing.
It was slapstick. It was that SNL type humor.
And
with like,
John Williams' score is awesome.
Oh yeah, he's good.
But that score is actually underrated. It's like a great Christmas score.
Like you can just put it on at Christmas time and it just like feel like the holidays.
Yeah, but I just never. You watched Daria, or did you know about the cartoon?
I loved it.
Yeah, so I
and her friend
Jane.
Yeah,
and so I was a teenager when that came out on MTV when I was in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I think she says like when I was a kid I didn't like kids. And that's kind of how I feel. You know, it's weird because like I love my nieces and I love like certain smart kids, but I don't think it's just a kid thing. I think anything that's like either a child or an adult that's like really loud and obnoxious and like just like hey, like it makes me uncomfortable. It's weird.
But your nieces and nephews don't do that?
No.
They're just like proper kids. Like.
My 2 nieces from my brother's side are really well behaved girls, so they're really chill and you know kind of like our family.
Yeah.
So
it just like continues on that like chill kids.
Yeah,
where, like, they hate kids.
But I just never was that kid that was running around or I was not athletic, like I was a couch potato till I was 30. Like I played musical instruments and chess and video games. I didn't do sports.
She was just like a huge nerd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you have like glasses that were like broken in the center?
I had glasses until I got LASIK as an adult.
Oh, you did? I got LASIK too.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the best thing.
I had glasses starting in like 3rd grade. And it was nuts.
Isn't that weird when you're like, I can't really read the blackboard, but I don't know why?
Yeah. And you think like what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And then like I was like afraid of my mom and like disappointing her or like getting her mad at me.
Because you were blind?
No, not that.
Oh, then why?
Because I had glasses, but then I broke them right in half.
Oh.
So then like I don't want to be like, Mom, I broke my glasses. She would just like, I feel like she would have just yelled at me like, why? Like these
was
are
your
expensive.
mom really strict?
Yeah, but not like mean.
Okay.
Like she was just like
same as mine. Yeah.
Yeah, like direct. Like she always says like we were well behaved children.
Right. Like you shouldn't fuck up.
Yeah.
Not that you couldn't. Yeah.
But it was always like that kind of afraid of her, just like getting her upset. But like she never really got upset.
Right.
She would always threaten us like, I'm gonna get the belt. Like I'm gonna
So you never got like a shoe thrown at you across the hallway like we did.
You guys did that?
Sometimes. My mom was really stressed out. She never like hit us, but
just but
so
she
would be like
there.
on the phone like in a business call, and like my brother would be like annoying, and then I'd start yelling, and it was a thing. Yeah. But that's the worst it got. It wasn't ever bad.
Well, just so you know, like I'm the parent, you're the kid. Like there's that
respect boundary.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, she's just acting out. Like let her do her thing.
Which
like, no.
now you see a lot more. It's so weird.
That's why the kids are running up and down the aisles and fucking around.
It's funny because in the theater in Mexicali, we would, before the movie started, all of these little kids would be running around the theater, and we were the only 2 kids that were in our seats.
Like start the movie.
Yeah. So it was funny when we went to visit my brother in college, in the movie theater, he ended up like standing up as an adult and ran around the theater and came back and sat down, and he's like, I did it. And we were just laughing because my mom knew what he was doing, right? Like he's just like, I finally did it because you never let me do this as a kid. So, but yeah, no, kids were really weird when I didn't like them when I was a kid.
No.
Are
you gonna have any?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want them
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then what are we here for?
But it's true. I always think I'm like, maybe I'm making a wrong decision. I just don't want to deal with it. I have so much other stuff that I'm busy with that I enjoy.
I had that talk with like another friend too. It's like,
do you want them?
I think eventually, but not now. Mm-hmm. Like, because at the end of the day, it's like you want somebody to like pass on.
But do you think that that's a good enough reason to have kids? Because that's kind of a narcissistic reason, isn't it? Where it's like, oh, I want a little part of me to stay. Is that like a sufficient reason to have kids?
It's not that I want like a little piece of me around.
Then what is it?
Well, it's like I want like somebody around when I'm older. Like,
so it's more like take care of yourself, which is also a narcissistic reason.
Okay, it's not all fucking narcissism.
but that's most people they have kids though, I think.
Well, no, because I get somebody wants to carry on like the family name and blah blah blah. But
which is still a part. It's part of it's. But the reasons you're bringing up are because of you.
Is it not narcissistic to not want children because you want to do what you want to do?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that most of the reason that people have kids is because they're like, I have to like want to leave a legacy, or I want somebody to take care of me. Like it's rarely like I want to raise a child to like improve society or something like that.
Well, I don't give a shit about society.
That's what I mean though. But that's what's interesting to me.
But
or people just have them because you think you have to grow up and have them because it's just like part of your life checklist.
Well, if you like, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if I don't, then what am I doing here?
Right.
When I die,
I've thought about that. I get it.
When I die, it's like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess like I had the experience of life, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and I feel selfish when I think about it. I just maybe I think it's because it scares me because I know that if I had them, I would dedicate my life to them like my mom did to us, and it freaks me out because I already deal with enough like anxiety and stress that's why I tell her and my sister-in-law and like my brother, I'm like, you guys are all superheroes. Like any of my friends and I'm so glad my friends are having kids. So I'm like, thank God smart people are having kids, you know?
You don't think you're a smart person to have kids?
Yeah, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want
to. For
your
own narcissistic reasons. Or why don't you want to do it?
I just don't want to. I don't want to not sleep and be stressed out all the time.
Okay. It's not like kind of like
it's not that I don't want kids. Like, I think it'd be cool. I just don't want to do the work. It's so much work.
It's a lot of work.
If you're gonna have kids, I don't want to half-ass it. I want to be a good parent.
Yeah.
And that terrifies me. I think it's so much work.
So it's like you're afraid of what could happen.
Yeah, and I don't want to be thinking all the time that they're gonna die. I don't want to think about that. Yeah.
It's a true fact. Like that's how my mom was like she's afraid like something's gonna happen to us, and she would kind of like helicopter parent us and like shelter us and do all that.
Yeah.
So you think you would be that person, and you don't want to be that person.
No. Okay. And like I said, you say like never say never. It's just that as I've gotten older, I'm more and more convinced that I don't think I'm gonna have them. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And maybe I'm sorry. Like if whatever, that's the reason we're here. Oops. But so far, I think I can also improve the world in other ways, not just by having kids.
Yeah. I'm not like telling you like you should. I'm saying like I'm just like expressing myself.
You're really being hard on me.
I'm not shaming you into having them. Like I understand why you went. It's not like also like you said it because like people feel like they should. It's not like everybody wants them.
People feel like they should get married, and you don't have to get married.
Yeah. But did you feel that way initially? Because you said you didn't like weddings, but you're married.
Yeah, no, we got engaged because my grandma was sick. And then we got engaged for like 3 years, and I was like we're both like, I guess we're gonna do this, but like we didn't want to have a wedding. We just did it for like family.
So you had a smaller wedding somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I planned was the music because I'm a nerd about music, right? And then it was the best wedding music ever.
It was a whole scores and soundtracks
everything.
playlist.
It was so good.
Sounds so much fun. I can't believe I missed it.
Really good. But yeah, no, I don't think people need to get married. And if they want to or choose to, that's great. But I don't think you have to. Like, if it was up to me, I would just live with Brennan.
Yeah.
And we'd be happy together. But
you wouldn't care.
We don't need to we don't need to be married. Like, I don't like the words wife or husband.
You don't say like, hello, husband.
No.
And he's like, hello, wife.
No, because people are like, what do you call, because people are like, what do you call your dude? Like, or like baby or sweetie. And I'm like, Brennan.
So formal.
That's his name.
Like, Mr. This.
Yeah, it's just Brennan.
So you can't like open up and have that like kind of intimacy of like
just in bed. I love intimacy in bed, but that's it.
But as as a couple.
What?
Like just be like, hey baby, like I love you.
I don't like the word baby.
And why is it a weird thing?
Yeah, I don't like it.
What would you like to call?
I like it. We call each other amor.
See, that's love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
so
like that.
You do have like baby names or like.
Yeah, but not baby. I hate baby.
It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just, I don't know. It's a turnoff. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe because babies are like freaky.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a baby.
That's the one thing. If I ever had a kid, like babies freak me out.
Mm.
I don't know if I could. Like I definitely couldn't give birth.
Well, you would have the C-section thing?
No, I just wouldn't want to be pregnant.
Well,
it's a nightmare.
But you're saying like if it did happen, like
I would be adopt or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you can adopt a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be pregnant. No. Nope.
That's just
I like my vagina a lot.
Great to know that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I don't want it to break. Like, would you want your penis to break?
It doesn't. Does it break?
It rips. Most of the time. Most of my friends, that's happened to them. Would you want your penis hole to break?
Your friends have told you, like, hey, like when I give birth, my vagina is just ripped up. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, because women don't complain as much as men do.
Yeah, I complain a lot. If I get a hangnail, I'm like, oh man, my day's ruined. Yeah. So I can't do that.
Yeah, imagine your penis ripping off.
I can't imagine that.
No, I know.
I don't know where else to go from here now. But you are married. You met a guy. Would you rather live alone though?
I like to have a duplex where I just have my stuff and my space and he has his.
That's what you have now?
No, I would like that if we had more money. But I don't actually. He's the only person that I enjoy sleeping next to.
Okay.
Any dude that I ever like hung out with or hooked up with, I was like, okay, so we're done.
Get the fuck out of here.
So are you leaving now? Yeah. I never like cuddling with anyone. Just
did you have those ones that kind of like stayed around and like lingered and just like,
or they would ask me to stay.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go.
Oh, you were the one that was like, all right, got it done.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm going to go hit up tacos.
Yeah. And I was very straightforward. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
After sex.
Yeah.
Always tacos.
Yeah, the tacos after sex.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I was always very direct, and I would be like, hey, I just want to hook up. I don't want a relationship, just FYI.
And they were okay with that.
Well, they would say that, but then they would want to date me. And so they would be like, oh, you should say. I'm like, I'm going to go.
Oh, because they would like that. Because like now they see you as like, oh, I have to get her to date me.
I don't know. It was really
she
weird.
Want to.
I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know if it's a dude girl thing. I don't know if it's just like a human thing where it's like, oh, what I can't have, I want. I don't know what it is. I just never wanted a boyfriend, and I just grew up very independent, and I just wanted to have fun. I was never looking for a commitment like most people in general,
or like a partner.
Yeah, and maybe it's because I come from divorced parents and grandparents. So I was just like, oh, I can just do this on my own and hook up with people and have fun. But Brennan was different. He wasn't territorial. He wasn't jealous. He was like me. He was very independent. So he changed my mind.
So, like, do you have like aunts and uncles that are in marriages and stuff, or was like your
a lot of them are divorced too?
So that's the same with me. Like my uncles and aunts. Do I have aunts? Yeah, sure. Well, because my mom has all brothers,
right.
So I don't really have aunts. I don't know my dad's side really. So I just have strictly like uncles, and like 2 are like divorced, and like the other 2 are in other marriages. And like.
So did you grow up thinking eventually you were gonna get married, or?
I don't know. I didn't think so, because my dad would always ingrain like, don't get married, don't ever get married, and he would kind of joke about it, but it was kind of like, why? Like, and then I understood like, oh, like they weren't happy together, and then they separated and they got divorced. So I don't know like the perfect marriage or what the perfect marriage should be, like sacrifice and like do this thing for another person and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and it's weird because I mean I've been with Brennan for like 13 years now. Yeah. Together, married and unmarried. And whatever you think of, if you want to or should get married or not, like being in a relationship that's your committed relationship and you want it to last for a long time, it's work. Yeah. Regardless of what type of relationship it is, like we both want to be still together. And so we both are working hard to accomplish that. And people get lazy a lot, and that's why people end up, but that's why it ends up not working out. Yeah. Because you both have to want it still. And that's what it comes down to.
And you have to work for it and making the other person happy, not just being that narcissistic asshole. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, I'm happy now. Like, you can do your own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to compromise. Yeah. It's like annoying. Right? Yeah. It's like, but you do it when you find somebody that, you like him and I have the same priorities. So like I never thought that would happen. I never thought I would want to be with somebody this long. I'm like still shocked, and it's weird to be like, oh shit, like I'm terrified of losing him because like we're so happy together. Yeah. It's weird.
So then you will, like, if you ever get like any inkling where like, oh, like I could lose this guy, like you'll work your ass off to get that.
Yeah, like, I think we're both on the same page. But we were very realistic, where we didn't have like cheesy vows, where we're just like, I'll get married to you until I don't want to anymore. Like that's kind of what our vows were. We're just like, well, we're just gonna work on this until we want to. It was very real, very practical.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't,
and that's how we feel still. We're like, hopefully, we'll be together for as long as we can.
So you don't think you'll like grow old together? And
we want to. We just don't know if we will. Right? It's more realistic to think we're gonna work for it, and we hope we are. But anything could happen.
Do you think that's a way of like protecting yourself from like being hurt along the line?
No, it's just a way of being realistic about life and knowing that you can't control the future, and that you can only control your attitude and work for what you can work on today.
In the now, like you can only control today.
Yeah, and enjoy what you have today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I just blowing your mind?
No.
So you agree?
I agree. Yeah, but it took me a while to realize like I had that entitlement of like, oh, like, this girl wants to be with me. Like, I don't have to really work for it. And it didn't.
You have to. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Otherwise, but then you have to realize, like how you said, like, you have to find that person where you want to work for them because they feel like, you feel like they're worth it. And the same thing, like, they want to work, make you happy.
Yeah. And it's also, it's not just a partnership, but I think it's good when you're in a relationship, whatever form of relationship you're in, that where you both make each other better humans. That's the best, right? Like, I think if Brennan wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be who I am now.
You wouldn't.
Like, he makes me a better human.
That's what
so
I
imagine, like, what a big asshole I was.
Like, even a more piece of shit.
Yeah.
No, but that the same way. We're like if I didn't want to do something, I would throw a fit. I would do this. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Is that how you throw fits? You just like
yeah. You can't see me right now, but I'm like
you shake your arms.
I'm throwing my arms like a child, like a baby on his back, just like throwing a fit.
Right.
But like someone has to tell you, like, no, you can't do that, and make you a better person and make you more patient and more forgiving and more all that. And it's disgusting, right?
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so gross. Love is gross.
But it's good.
Yeah, it is good for you. It makes you better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just, like I said, it's not just romantic love. Like any friendship and familial love is important too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing too that I'm glad in this relationship because we're both so independent that we also know that we need other people, not just each other, to grow as humans. And we need friends and family to learn from as well. Because some people get very much into like, this is my, partner, and
my
this
best
is
friend.
and this is the only person I'm going to be with all the time, and that's unhealthy as well.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, because you do need the separation, but it is another like a balance thing.
Yeah, where you have to be your own person in the relationship as well.
Yeah, but you don't force him to hang out with your friends?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I mean you guys have hung out. Like you met him a couple of times?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's around. He has his own life, and I have my own, and then we have our life together. We have a balance.
And and it's
because we live together. We'd get sick of each other otherwise.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if you guys were together all the time, it's like, fuck, like he has to go with me. I have to go. I have to go with her like all the time.
And we're very honest with each other. I'll just be like, I'm going to go hang out with my friends. And sometimes I'm like, come. And sometimes I'm like, don't come.
Oh, so sometimes you do want him to come.
Yeah. And then we'll just be honest with each other.
Yeah. That's what's good about honesty. If like, oh, you can come if you want.
Yeah.
Like
honesty is the key in everything.
Yeah.
As much as it's hard for them to be confrontational.
So, but do you feel like sometimes you aren't honest to protect the feelings of the other person?
No.
You're always honest, regardless of how you come off or how like fucked up the situation can be.
I'm not going to be overtly mean for no reason.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just be honest with somebody than trick them into thinking something and then hurting their feelings later on about it, or getting pissed off and exploding later.
Yeah, like holding it in and
holding a grudge or something.
Why did you tell me this? But it was really this, and then it all falls apart. After.
Are you dating anyone right now?
Yeah.
Is the same girl I met? At the taco thing.
Yeah.
She seemed cool.
She's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like
Yeah.
You seem happy.
I am happy.
Good.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, I don't...
You called her friends vapid, but whatever.
I called her friends vapid?
Yeah, what did you say earlier?
I didn't say her friends.
What did you say?
I said my friends.
Oh, your friends. Okay, I agree.
Well,
no, I'm kidding.
I said, like, my high school, like, friends that are just... Or, like, other friends that are vapid, like, Instagram, like,
I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's not her.
Okay, good.
Just so she knows.
She didn't seem that way. She seemed cool. Yeah.
She's really cool, and I really enjoy hanging out with her. And
good.
Yeah. But it's also that thing, it's like, I don't want to like put it out there just in case. Like I'm always realistic. Like what if something happens, and like I'm always thinking of like the bad part.
But that's, as humans, we just have, like I said, I've been with somebody for a long time. We could separate tomorrow. I don't want that to happen, but it's just people just need to be realistic that sometimes in life change happens and you can't control it. In fact, not sometimes, change is constant.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just like we're all going to die, unfortunately, right? Yeah. Like, that's just, we don't know when. Like, we just have to kind of enjoy. Like, that's why I always tell my friends, don't worry so much about, like, choosing a partner because that has to have your exact same, like, future priorities. And, like, oh, can I marry this person? Can I have kids with this person? It's like, just enjoy it while it's lasting.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Don't think about later on.
Yeah.
Or don't think about the perfect person, because, like, there is no perfect person for you.
No.
It's the person that you can enjoy being with.
Exactly. And there's also, I don't believe in like just one person either.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. But you work to, I guess, like learn to appreciate them.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can have different emotional connections with several people.
But you found this guy that you are enjoying for the time being.
Well, just like I said, it's like not even enjoying. It's just like he's my partner.
Yeah, like
I can have emotional connections with other people, but he's like.
What do you mean an emotional connection?
Well, like so, like we talked about, like I think earlier before the podcast, it's a lot of people nowadays have different types of relationships. So I've been in non-traditional relationships, and so I have friends that are like done way weirder stuff than I have. Like they've dated couples. I've had friends that like are polyamorous. You know,
like
I've had
swingers,
all kinds of things.
Wow.
Like people that just like have several girlfriends and boyfriends. You know, I've had
Nice.
friends that are all over the place. That's super weird to someone like me that grew up in a traditional society. But now that I'm much more open-minded and I understand that there's different types of love, and there's it's not just about what society tells you is right. You know, and so I think that's why you can have different connections with several humans, right? And I don't think in general, I don't think like you said it earlier that we're all animals. I don't think that monogamy is a natural thing.
It's like in the animal world, like no one's like married.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Like, and I think it works for a lot of people, but I don't think it works for everyone, right? And so like I'm happy with like Brennan's my partner. He's like my number one, you know. But I've definitely been in like open relationships before where it's like like, and it worked, you know, whatever.
It was working.
And so that I think that's another thing to take into that you don't have to also do this checklist that society tells you to do to be happy with people.
Conforming to the norms.
Like I think it's exhausting. Like my friends that have like 3 or 4 girlfriends or boyfriends, I'm like, that seems like a nightmare.
Right.
Because like one is enough work.
One's a lot.
But it seems to work for them. You know what I mean? Like that seems exhausting. But
do you
I can't judge it. You know what I mean?
So you like you get some, like when you're in an open relationship with a person, your number one is your number one. You get the most things out of him. But if you're like not getting something from him, you'll find it in another person. I
mean, I think it's defined differently for different people. Like if you read books on it and if you talk to people that are in those types of relationships, I think it's different for everyone. I've met people that, like for me, I just, you know, it was more like, okay, I'll like hang out with this other guy like once a year or something like that. But there's other people that like hang out with people like every weekend. You know what I mean? I think it's different for everybody. And I think it's just hard when you try to define not just your relationships, but your life as a person and who you are, because I think it's important to constantly evolve as humans and you're constantly changing as a person and therefore changing what you want out of life.
So you don't feel it weakens the connection of the first person?
I don't know. I mean, it might for some people, like I said, right? I don't know. Like, I think relationships can be successful or unsuccessful, regardless of whether they're monogamous or not. Okay,
because I would just be like worried.
Because you can be in a weak monogamous relationship because you don't talk to each other and you don't work for it,
and you're not honest with each other,
regardless of there being other people around.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why people cheat on each other.
Yeah, because. Yeah, they're not working for it. They're not honest with each other. They're missing something. Then they seek something from other people. And it just goes to shit.
Yeah, but it's weird to like, it's interesting to talk about it because I feel weird talking about it, but at the same time, it's like, we're older, right? Like, like kids nowadays, like who knows what they're going to be into, right? Like,
that's true.
Like people in college, like, you know, like they're way more going to be open-minded than we are. It's interesting.
The liberal, like you don't like the word liberal, but just like, getting away from the conservative type of values, I guess.
Or just the more traditional, right? Like more like I said, like society told us we have to grow up, get married, have kids. And that's just not the case anymore. And it's just because the world society keeps evolving.
So did you have like many boyfriends at one time?
No, I didn't I don't like boyfriends.
Oh yeah, you don't have like one boyfriend.
No, I don't like boyfriends at all.
So you were never in like...
I like Brendan.
It's just this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the guy.
Yeah. He's this like diamond in the rough. Yeah, it's weird. Just Brendan.
I can't imagine what he puts up with you.
Yeah. No, he's a fucking saint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I put up with his shit too. But we put up with each other's shit.
But that's what's necessary. Like no, like that again. Like you can't be perfect for each other. Like you are gonna get under each other's skin sometimes.
Yeah, you're different. We're all human. Like we're all different. We are never gonna agree on everything. It's about compromising. Yeah, and also being honest. You can't just keep things to yourself and not communicate what you want, because that's only gonna make you sadder. And and you should work together to make each other happy. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice to hear.
I think Bob Ross would agree.
I never saw him.
Oh, you would love it.
The painter?
Yes. So good.
Before my time.
Watch it on Netflix, dude.
He's on Netflix?
Yes.
Oh. Do I have to get high?
It's a good show. You don't have to, but if you do, it's great.
You said, are you allowed to talk about the stuff you do? Or no?
The stuff I do. What stuff do I do?
Yeah, the stuff that
Like
alleviates your anxieties.
Oh, I mean, I think I'm not currently, but like when my grandma died, I totally went to therapy for like, I was freaking out about death and I was having panic attacks. And so I tried weed and it fucking helped me so much.
It does help alleviate.
It really, like I tried anti-anxiety medications and they just made me feel numb. I didn't like them and might work for some people, but medical marijuana is amazing. And it also may not work for everyone, but it just made me, I don't know the science behind it. It just made me see life differently. Was it like a daily thing, or like actual medication? Like whenever I felt really anxious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But do you get anxious? You said you get anxious now.
Yeah, no,
crowds of people.
No, not so much social anxiety. Just anxious about because I think the death thing was always very hard for me. It's still hard, but not as hard as it was before. Because I think from going from being Catholic and believing in a heaven and hell, then going to like being atheist and being like, oh, nothing happens, and then somebody actually you love dying, you're like, holy shit, where did my grandma go? Because she helped raise me with my mom, right? So she was like a parent to me. So I'm like, where'd she go? What the fuck? Where am I gonna go? And am I just gonna see all my loved ones around me die? Like that's terrifying thought, and people don't like to think about it, and I get it, but so I think that it helped me kind of also, similar to art, it kind of helped me face my fears. I don't know what marijuana does to your brain, but it just helped me like sit there and think about stuff that I didn't want to think about.
What does it help you escape?
Both.
Escape and be like more introspective.
Yeah.
Doesn't that freak you out more? I get more anxious when I'm...
Some people do, but I think it's because of that. I think it forces you... I don't know what it does, like I said, scientifically, but to me, it like anything that it was in the back of my mind that was stressing me out, it would come to the forefront and I would focus on it. So all my anxieties would come and I would like force me to deal like with them and think about them.
But doesn't that make it worse?
No, because it's like self-therapy. It like forces you to face your fears, and we need to do that.
But for me, it comes like the anxiety comes and you're like, okay, like now it's more of a reason to freak out about the anxieties because I'm thinking about them more.
Yeah, but if you don't deal with them, they're just going to always be at the back of your mind.
It'll just
they're always going to be there, and you're always going to be stressed out. So it's kind of like, it's a form of self-therapy. Like I said, it's kind of like when you go to a therapist and you talk about all the stuff that you're upset about or stressed out about, right? It's kind of like that. Just
verbalizing it and just like thinking about it instead of just it gestating in the back of your mind.
And in general, at the other hand, I've also heard people that it helps them relax as well, right? And that helped me as well. Like depending on what strains or whatever, like it would just help me chill out. Like if I was shaky or if I was really high strung and felt like a panic attack was happening, it would just I don't know, this CBD or something would like relax my body.
You weren't able to relax beforehand?
If I was very healthy, if I was like really like working out and eating healthy, but sometimes you can't control life, and big life changes happen, and those are going to be stressful no matter what. Yeah. So sometimes you need a little help, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know?
I can see that because I have like a really hard time like relaxing. Like even when I'm on vacation, I'm on like the beach or something, I'm like, what's next? What am I going to do?
You're always thinking about the future.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's what makes humans anxious.
Yeah. Thinking about what's next.
So Carl Sagan wrote an article under another name back in the day about his experience with marijuana. And you guys should look it up. It's great. And I think he did it because under another name because of society back then, and stuff. And now it's more accepted. And but he basically wrote about how it kind of made him feel when he was high, his senses felt differently. And I kind of understand that because it's made me feel kind of like a teenager where I can appreciate the world around me more. So I hear music better. I taste things better. I smell things better. It makes me feel like a little kid again, where I'm appreciating all these things in life that we kind of take for granted, colors and sounds and smells and all these types of things. And that makes you focus more on the present.
I could see that. Because when you grow up, you have those kind of like barriers where it's like, I don't know if I should enjoy that.
Right.
And like in the back of your mind, but like you want to enjoy it, but like, I don't know, like you have these pressures from everybody else, from people, from something telling you not to enjoy it because it's stupid. Or
right.
But then, yeah, we just like, you know what? That is funny. I really enjoy it.
And also, I agree. And also, I think when we're kids, and it's funny because I was just at a Shazam screening, and Zachary Levi was talking about this at the Q&A afterwards, where he's in the movie there's a bunch of kids in it, and so they were always working around kids, and it made him feel younger. And I think that's a thing that we all lose. Like as we get older, we're very we're taught to be very strict with ourselves and to not show emotion as adults, and showing emotion as weakness. Whereas when you're a kid, you're just like whatever, and because we're kind of constraining ourselves, we become like
jaded.
What?
We become jaded at things. Like, oh, I'm too cool for that. I can't enjoy it. It's dumb.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes when you're on that type of drug, you're just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
I guess, again, I don't know what the scientific effect is behind it, and I hope it gets studied more because I think it does help people, and it's proven that it does. And, everybody from cancer patients to veterans with PTSD, like people that have way worse problems than we do. But I really hope it gets studied more because it definitely helped me for sure.
That's good. That's a good thing that, are you able to, because I'm not able to like do it and go outside. Because I get
a lot of people can't.
Because I get too heady and I'm like.
But that's what it is though, because we're always thinking, oh, people are watching me. What are people thinking about me? And or what are people thinking? I'm like a fool or something. And it's like you just got it's just our nature as adults to think that. So you just kind of have to
self-conscious.
You have to feel youthful again and be like, fuck it, we're all dumb here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick.
Also at the same time, I don't want to be like sloppy and like falling around and just be like slurring my words and shit. Like I want to be.
But people do that drunk. So and it's way worse. And drunk and alcohol actually makes people violent.
Yeah.
Whereas weed doesn't.
We just like relaxes you.
Yeah.
And just like.
I'd rather run in an alleyway to a bunch of stoners and a bunch of drunks.
Yeah.
I'd feel safer.
Yeah. They would just play their Jimmy Buffett music for you.
Well, hopefully better music.
Pink Floyd music.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been a long talk. I feel like we can talk.
It's been like 2 hours, Brian.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for our listeners.
That's fine. No one's listening.
Okay, good.
The 3 people listening.
Okay, good.
The fan that I told you.
Oh yeah, your fan. It was his name, Ricky.
Ricky.
Yeah. What's up, Ricky?
No, but thank you so much for doing this. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I talk so much.
That's fine.
I just talking with my friends.
Yeah. I mean, we're not really friendly, so it's like cool.
Well, yeah, we're friends like online, but not in real life.
Totally.
We just pretend.
It's the front. We have to we're friends, right?
Yeah.
Like online.
No, now I'm gonna force you to hang out more, not just to come to my taco crawls.
Sure. With my new friend, my girlfriend, we can go out and do stuff.
Good.
Yeah, because she likes all that.
Good.
I don't.
We'll do it.
I don't like going out.
We'll do it with her and Brendan. Yeah.
Is Brendan introverted?
Yes.
So he doesn't like going out?
He does now more. Back in the day he didn't, but now he actually likes being social more.
I don't like it. It's too much work. For me, it's a lot of energy. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, it does exhaust him. He needs alone time. Yeah. Because people exhaust him. But you can have that too after you hang out and have fun.
But I can have it instead.
You're gonna be a grumpy old man one day. You might as well enjoy it while you're young.
Why can't I start now?
Because that's a waste.
Well, see, it's weird because I do enjoy things like this, like the one-on-one. Yeah. I can talk for 2.5 hours. Yeah. But in a social situation where it's like people are like,
you don't have to talk to everyone.
That's true. But then I don't know. I get in my head. I'm just like, what's going on? Am I doing all right? Is it okay?
None of us are. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to not be idiots, and we still are, so it's fine.
I'm trying to get through it. And at the end of the day, too, you realize no one gives a shit about you.
No, everybody's just in their head thinking about their own shit.
They're worried about themselves, or they're worried about themselves. Mm-hmm. Narcissistic assholes.
As we all humans are.
That's LA for you.
No, it's not LA. I love LA.
No, it's LA.
No, you just don't go out, and that's why you don't meet cool people. You meet the assholes.
That's true. The ones that are like, hey, follow me on Instagram.
No, I know so many cool people here.
Okay.
I've made great friends here.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce you to all of them.
I've met a few. They're all right.
And you like them.
They're all right. I don't need to constantly. No, I met the one guy that he did the same job I'm doing. I forgot his name. I followed him on Instagram though. He's really cool.
Cool.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
I forgot his name.
Okay,
I have to look him up.
Okay.
Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You should come on the Wanger Show again.
Yeah, Christian and Cody were saying that, and then Christian goes like, he's like, but we have like actually a lot of guests lined up, so you're gonna have to wait.
He LA'd you.
Yeah, he totally did. I was like, you motherfucker, but it was his birthday, so it's okay. Yeah.
No, birthdays are dumb.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. It's over. I don't have a call off.
Okay, bye.
Bye.